Hujambo mtazamaji, good afternoon from wherever you're watching us from. We are here to continue with this discussion once again. Na tunashukuru sana kwa kuendelea kututazama na kuendelea kufuatilia runinga ya Mwangaza wakati huu ambapo tunaendelea na uchambuzi na pia discussion ya ambavyo taifa letu la Kenya linaendelea. Jina langu ni Daisy Paul na siko peke yangu hapa studioni, niko na mwenzangu ambaye nitamwacha pia ajipige introduction.
Yes, good afternoon. Jina langu Margaret Kamau, na tutakuwa tukiungana nanyi kutoka masaa haya kutoka masaa haya mpaka tutakapofika tamati, na hakuna tamati katika Debeni mwaka wa 2022. Kwa hivyo tukisema tamati ni mpaka masaa yale ambao tutawapisha wenzetu wakaweza kuungana nasi.
Kweli kabisa. Na tumekuwa tukiona mambo mengi yakiendelea na kwa sasa mambo mengi tu yameweza kuwa yakiendelea na siku ya leo tuko na mgeni ambaye tutakuwa tukimleta kwenye studio zetu hapa ili tuweze kuzungumza naye kuhusu mambo kadha wa kadha ambayo yameweza kuwa yakiendelea katika taifa letu, na in a very short while we will be bringing that guest. Na pia ukiwa na swali, if you have a comment, if you have any queries, if you have something you want to understand concerning the ongoing tallying, unaweza ukatuma ujumbe mfupi kwenye 22914 is our SMS number 22914. Pia tuko live kwenye page yetu ya Facebook Mwangaza TV, na pia tuko live kwenye YouTube channel Mwangaza TV Kenya. Unaweza ukatuma ujumbe wako ukiwa na swali, unaweza kauliza ukiwa na any queries. Pia ukiwa na kitu unataka kuchangia, unaweza ukatuma kwenye kurasa hizo za Facebook kama pia kwa nambari yetu ya arafa, na tutaweza kuwa tukiwasiliana pia na mgeni wetu. Ukiwa na swali lolote la kumuuliza, ukiwa na kitu chochote ambacho ungetaka kuelewa, unaweza ukatumia njia hizo za kutuma arafa.
Yes, na jambo ambalo linanifurahisha sana ni kuona matokeo bado yanaendelea kutangazwa. Siku ya jana kuna vile tulitaja kuhusu counties na ambazo zinaendelea kutangazwa matokeo ya form 34A yakitokea. Mwenyekiti wa tuma ya Iebc anakuja na anatangaza ili Wakenya wakaweza kuzitambua. Na kwa ufupi nitataja zile counties na ambazo kwa kufikia sasa zimeweza kutajwa. Tutaanza na Moiben ambayo ni county iko katika county ya Uasin Gishu. Na katika county ya Uasin Gishu kulikuwa na nambari ya wapiga kura na ambao walikuwa wamejiandikisha ni 77,877. Zile na ambazo kuna zile na ambazo tunaitaga number of registered voters wenye walijitokea ni 56,502. Hiyo ni nambari ya wale ambao walijitokeza. But the total number of registered voters in Uasin Gishu Moiben was 77,877, and the number of rejected votes zilikuwa 345. Then ukienda bado upande wa Moiben Uasin Gishu, we have Raila Odinga with 6,772 votes. Then we have William Samoei Ruto with 49,625 votes. Then we have Wahiga Mwaure with 54 votes. Then we have Wajakoya with 51 votes. Alafu tukielekea upande wa Nandi County, upande wa Nandi Hills, we have 47,910. Hiyo ni nambari ya voters ambao walikuwa wajitokeze. Lakini wale ambao walijitokeza ni 41,864 wale ambao walijitokeza. Na the total number of rejected votes, zile ambazo ziliharibika, ni ilikuwa 229 votes. Na bado tukiwa upande huo wa Nandi County ya Nandi Hills, tunaye Raila Amolo Odinga na kura 3,471, which is 3,471. We also have William Samoei Ruto with 38,308 votes. Then we have Wahiga Mwaure with 40 votes. Then we have Wajakoya with 45 votes. Ukielekea upande mwingine wa Bugoi, ambayo ni county pia ambayo ni county ya Uasin Gishu, the number of registered voters was 62,611. The number of voters na wale ambao walijitokeza walikuwa 44,102, and the number of rejected votes zilikuwa 265. Alafu tunaye Raila Amolo Odinga with 8,620 votes. We have William Samoei Ruto with 35,401 votes. We have Wahiga Mwaure with 51 votes. Then we have George Wajakoya with 90 votes. Hiyo ni upande wa Uasin Gishu, Bugoi. Alafu upande katika kaunti ya Machakos tunalo eneo linaitwa Tata. Katika eneo hilo nambari ya wale wapiga kura na ambao walijiandikisha ilikuwa 82,446, lakini wale ambao walijitokeza kupiga kura zao ilikuwa nambari 49,062 votes. Wale ni wale ambao walijitokeza. The total number of rejected votes ilikuwa 402. Then we have Raila Odinga with 38,225 votes. We have William Samoei Ruto with 10,391 votes. We have Wahiga Mwaure with 121 votes. Then we have George Wajakoya with 325 votes. Tukielekea upande mwingine wa Kiambu County, upande wa Gatondo South, nambari wa wapiga kura na ambao walijiandikisha ni 79,860. Wale ambao walijitokeza kupiga kura ni 54,536 voters. Total number of rejected, zile ambazo hazikukubalika, ni 475, 475. Na upande huo tunaye Raila Odinga with 12,290. We have William Samoei Ruto with 41,712. We also have Wahiga Mwaure with 223 votes. We have George Wajakoya with 313. Alafu nitasoma hii ya mwisho upande wa Ndeia, county ya Kirinyaga. Zile ambazo zilikataliwa ni 346, 346. Zile ambazo wale ambao walijiandikisha ni 69,743. Lakini wale ambao walijitokeza ili wakaweza kupiga kura ni wapiga kura 48,548. Alafu upande huo tunaye Raila Odinga na kura 6,872. We have William Samoei Ruto with 41,293. Alafu tunaye Wahiga Mwaure with 151 votes. We have George Wajakoya with 232 votes. Hizi ni baadhi ya kaunti zile ambazo kufikia sasa msimamizi wa tuma hiyo ya Iebc ameweza kuzitaja na kuzisema tunaitaga physically, kuisoma physically ili Wakenya wakaweza kutambua vile na ambavyo kunaenda. Na hayo tu ni machache, lakini kuna zile kaunti ambazo zinaendelea kujiongezea.
Na pia nikiangalia kwenye portal ya Iebc naona pia kuna kaunti ambazo hazijaweza kumaliza kupeana fomu zao, form 34As. Na kwa sasa hivi tuko 99.94%. Na nikielewa pia form 34B zimeanza kupeanwa. Na tutakuwa tukipitia mambo haya yote pia na mgeni wetu ambaye atakuwa akiingia kwa wakati wowote ule kwa sasa. Atakuwa akitueleza fomu hizi zote ni nini na ni nini ambacho bado tunatarajia kutoka kwenye Iebc. Form 34Bs ni nini na zinafanya nini na zinasaidia kivipi katika kupeana matokeo halisi ya uchaguzi huu. Na pia nikiangalia kidogo pale kwenye hii portal ilipeanwa na Iebc. Ni vizuri pia kukumbusha watu ya kwamba hii portal ilipeanwa na Iebc ili tuweze kuangalia vile ambavyo kuhesabu kwa kura kunaendelea katika taifa la Kenya. Na pale asubuhi pia tulikuwa na the transition committee, si asubuhi lakini ni around afternoon hours. Tulikuwa na the transition committee ambao waliweza ku address the nation on the transition of the current administration and the incoming administration. Na pia walipeana majukumu yao ambayo pia nitaweza kuyasoma kwa haraka kabla ya kuweza kuingiza mgeni wetu kwenye this set. Na walisema kuwa they are there to facilitate a smooth transition of the current administration to the incoming administration. Pia walisema kuna the handling of the process of handing over the outgoing presidents to the incoming president-elect. Na pia organize for the security of the president-elect, and organize for the necessary facilities and personnel-elect, and personnel for the president-elect. Na coordinate the briefings of the president-elect by relevant public officers, also to facilitate the communication between the outgoing president and the president-elect. Kuna prepare the program and the swearing in ceremony, and to make more announcements even as the program goes on, the entire election process as it goes on. And there's also something that tunafaa tuelewe kama Wakenya, ya kwamba once the Iebc has declared the president-elect on the first Tuesday following the 14th day after the date of the results, the presidential elections, after the date of the result of the presidential election are announced, if there is no petition, then the swearing-in ceremony takes place and happens by the president-elect taking the oath of allegiance. That is how it should be. That is now, if there is no, kama hakuna mtu yote akona petition ya kupeleka kotini, then we can have the inauguration ceremony where the president-elect is supposed to take the oath of allegiance, as he also takes over the country as now the new president to govern the country. Na haya ni baadhi tu ya mambo ambayo tunaguzia tu, ili pia tukipata mgeni wetu ambaye anaelewa pia ni advocate, ni advocate, atatusaidia pia kuelewa zaidi on how it should go, ili tuwe na ufahamu. Kumbuka kila wakati tunasema it is the work of the media, sisi sasa ambao ni the media, to make sure you are informed and you carry the right information with you. So kwa sasa sijui tunaweza tukachukua mapumziko mafupi, tuweze kurudi baadaye na mgeni wetu, ili tuweze kuelewa zaidi ni kipi ambacho tunafaa kujua wakati huu ambapo tunazidi na the election process na the tallying process, na pia tunapongoja announcement ya Iebc on who is the president-elect. Ataweza kutujuza zaidi na pia kutuelimisha, tuweze kujua sheria inasema vipi, tuweze pia kujua ni nini tunatakiwa kufanya sisi kama Wakenya wakati huu ambapo taifa inangoja kusikia the president-elect. Naam, tunaweza tukachukua mapumziko mafupi tu, ama una jambo la kuongeza?
Jambo langu la kuongeza ni kidogo tu. Iwapo una swali lolote ambalo ungetaka kuuliza, mgeni wetu akija akiungana nasi baada ya mapumziko haya mafupi, iwapo kuna swali lolote ungetaka kumuuliza, anza kuuliza sahi katika nambari yetu ya rafa ambayo ni 22914, na upande wetu wa Facebook ambao ni Mwangaza TV, na tupo live upande huo.
Kweli.
Kwa hivyo iwapo kuna swali lolote ambalo unataka kutoka kwa nyumba, usijali, tupo nawe.
Kweli kabisa.
Tutarejea baada ya mapumziko haya mafupi.
Welcome back on Debeni 2022, and we continue with this discussion, and already our guest is here. He will be introducing himself in a few. Remember, we continue with this discussion. Tuko hapa, in case uko na swali, you can send to 22914 ama pia kwenye Facebook Mwangaza TV na kwenye YouTube Mwangaza TV Kenya, in case you have a question, a query or a comment you want to make, and in case you have a question concerning whatever is going on in the country to our guest, you can send to that number 22914 or our social media platforms, Mwangaza TV at Facebook and Mwangaza TV Kenya pale kwa YouTube. Unaweza ukatuma ujumbe wako mfupi ili tuweze kuwasiliana, and so that we make this a lively program, or rather a lively episode of making sure you are informed and you are educated and you know what you should be knowing, because that is our mandate. And therefore I want us to introduce our guest, Newton Musembi. And in case you're joining us right now, my name is Daisy Paul and this is Debeni 2022, and I am with my co-anchor Margaret Kamau, and we will be doing this discussion together. And our guest today is an advocate by the name Newton Musembi, but more of himself atatuambia mwenyewe. Karibu sana mgeni wetu.
Asante. Vile mwenzangu amesema, majina ni majina. Jina ni Newton Musembi. I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, practicing, licensed to practice in this republic. Niko hapa tujaribu kuangalia a little bit of the law and the elections. They say that everything in the world is the law. So wanasema ndio kwa sababu tunaitwa learned friends, kwa sababu we must know at least a little bit of something, or nikiweka kwa urahisi, kila kitu ndio kiende sambamba, lazima kifuate sheria, na sheria lazima ziwekwe. So tutaangalia vile sheria ni nini, inakuja vipi, how it is applicable to elections and any other thing that we can put our minds to.
All right. We are really grateful that you've made your time to join na pia kuweza ili tuweze kupata this discussion together. We are really grateful that you've given us that time. And in case nikianza na with what we are seeing around the country, say you see it's when the patience of Kenyans is being tested through all these things that are going on. Tumeona matangazo ya urais wa Kenya wanangoja usiku na mchana, lakini bado hayajaweza kutangazwa. Na in case if maybe I can ask, why do you think it's really taking all this long? Is it because of probably a preparedness ya Iebc, ama pia tunaona ni kama imechelewa na haijachelewa, labda sisi ndio tuko anxious? Why do you think it's taking this long for the announcement to be done?
Kulingana na sheria, the framers of our constitution had in mind the time what we will go through, but I highly doubt they really knew the real contentions that actually comes up ikikuja kwa elections zetu. Our elections zimemekiwa to be like a life and death.
Right.
Elections zetu kuna vile emotions zimekuwa whipped, mpaka ikifika ni kutangaza kutangaza matokeo, it comes to a point unaona you can equate it to I don't know which test. Sijui, nilikuwa nasema jana, I was sharing with my colleagues, nikawaambia I think it is high time we thought of a counseling session, na kwa sababu wa Kenya wamego through a lot. I am not an exception. I have also gone through a lot, especially ile siku yenye tulimaliza elections. then the following day. Now I think IBC in their own wisdom waliamua, last time they went through a lot, so wakasema this time round we are going to share with you the pain that we went through. So wakasema the portal is there, the form 34As are there, you can download them, you do your maths, you have your solutions, alafu sisi tutakuja tutanini, which I'm expecting it won't be so different from what the IBC have. Yeah, believing that the system zitaenda vile inatakana ziende. Kama IBC ipate total votes zenye zilikuwa cast wa assuming ni 15 million. I'm pretty sure pia the stations, individuals who did the additions wamepata something closer to that. If it is 15 million, it is 15 million. Hizo vitu zitaongezeka juu ama zitabakia, it is actually within that range. So I cannot blame IBC. For the moment, I can only blame us Kenyans, because we believe that politics is everything. Anyway, siwezi sema we believe, it has been made to us to believe so, because if your man wins, then everything will be fine for you for the next 5 years. And that is why the Kenyans have been pushed to believing that hizi 5 years, where will I be? Will I be in the government ndio nipate buttered bread, ama I will be in the opposition to suffer? So that is why unaona tension iko very high. Otherwise, if we were not dependent on this politics so much, the way hawa jamaa wamefanya tukakua, na sisi wenyewe pia tukafanya ikakua as Kenyans. Nikisema sisi wenyewe, I mean Kenyans, a person who is a Kenyan by all means. Tumefanywa na tukakubali na tukafanya pia ikawezekana kuwa whoever wins, if he is not from your side, then you will suffer for the next 5 years. Otherwise, without that, if you remove that, basically ingekuwa ni kama Manchester imeshinda sijui Arsenal and we go on with our life.
Right.
But because this is your life, inabidi ukwe na kauoga.
Right, and you're talking about, you've mentioned something about IEBC allowing it's in the public domain that IEBC has allowed the public to access their portal.
Yes.
And calculations zote zinafanywa kwa IEBC, we are able to see them on their portal.
Yes.
And even the members of the public, aside the political aspirants, can also access that portal. Do you think it was the best idea for IEBC to do that?
Yeah, because sometimes, wacha nikwambie, without that, saa hizi, tension ingekuwa double what we have. Can you imagine you can access those forms but you still have doubts? Unaona hii ni 32, but something tells you hapana, I think nimekosea, hii yafaa ikue 23. As in wewe mwenyewe unaona. Now imagine that information ikiwa imefichwa na IBC. As in it is in their custody. Vile previously ilikuwa. They count. You are waiting to know if you are going to hell or to heaven. That is how terrible ingekuwa. But right now, now that you at least you can access, tension imekuwa cut into halves. At least we can still move. Saizi, believe you me, hata labda hamunge nipata mimi kuja hapa kwa sababu ya hiyo tension. Yeah, cause vile nimewaambia, Kenya is so dependent on elections. We've been mad and we have actually allowed ourselves kuwa dependent kwa hiyo. What will my next 5 years be like? This group, maybe it can favor this group, maybe it can favor. As in, that is how it is. Okay, we are trying to get out of that box. But bado hata ukidanganya sijui nini okay hata ukidanganya ama udanganywe eti we are out of the woods, no, we are still there because it is still my man is there. Yes, if my man is there, then I have access to the services of the government, to whatever people, even us in the legal profession, we know that yeah, we are still dependent on that. Hatutoki hapo very soon. That is why you can see somebody is voted into the office not because of his character or because of him, but because of a political party, because of a wave. So ukiangalia vitu kama hiyo, then we still have a long way to go. Yeah.
And now on the same, I know my co-anchor also has things she wants to talk about, but tukifuata tu that line, on the openness of the portal Iebc, we've seen media houses displaying the numbers after tallying.
Yes.
Each media house has opted to have their own tallying center.
Yes.
And they have been displaying these figures on their screens.
Yes.
And at times these figures
they do not tally, as in they are not the same.
Right.
Yes.
And today hatujakuwa na hiyo, haijakuwa kwa the media houses.
Yes.
What do you think about that? Is it okay that do you think it will also favor the wananchi on bringing vita kuhusiana na ile TV, because kumekuwa na hizo issues, ukitaka kujua ukiona mtu wako hashindi huku switch your TV.
Yes.
Do you think it will also help ku avoid hizo vita za watu huku chini?
Okay, vile nimesema, the law allows. Iebc actually has tried, sijasema ati everything imeenda into law, kwa sababu there are some things which I think I can share with you guys. Like, you know, I was shocked to see a presiding officer in a polling station alienda to now the counting and whatever what they do in the polling station, akaenda akafanya. They went there on Monday. Was it on Monday? Yes, it was on Monday. So elections day was on Tuesday, as it is the law, the second Tuesday of every 5 years, after
Right.
every 5 years. So walienda Monday, they stayed there on Tuesday. On Wednesday, they were still there. You can imagine some of them are ladies. Huyu mtu ameenda kwa ameenda job from Monday to Wednesday. Actually na understand hata kuna wenye wanatoka huko leo. So unashangaa, if Iebc was actually prepared, why is it so hard kama unalipa presiding officer 30,000 or 20,000? Why is it so hard to divide this amount into 3, ikuwe unalipa watu tuseme 7,000 each, wakuwe 3 people, so that this guy can relieve this other person, huyu mwingine pia atoke arelieve huyu mwingine, so that at least you see, hii mambo ya mtu kukaa polling station 3 days 4 days, it's actually hiyo iko saizi, it is not supposed to happen, especially kwa watu kama Iebc. Vitu kama hizo, they went wrong. I don't know how they did it. Sijui kama wako na ghost workers who are not working na wameandika ni watu 3 and then wanachukua mtu mmoja anafanya hiyo kazi. How can people... Okay, I come from Westlands constituency, so I understand this guy stayed at Kenya Technical Training College there for like 2 days. Kwa polling station 1 day. The first day tena walikuwa KTTC, which is very wrong. Otherwise, hizi vitu zingine kama like the process, the way it has been, wameadhia to the law to a certain extent, apart from hizo vitu ndogo ndogo zenye which they can actually rectify. ukikuja kwa okay, kuna vitu zingine zenye tunajua these guys they don't, kwa sababu okay, electoral laws they include the Constitution, Elections Act,
Right.
Election Offences Act, which hiyo ndio wanaharibu kila wakati because the offenses are there kama kila wakati. Iebc Act, the campaign financing, Election Campaign Financing Act, there are several, but ukiangalia Political Parties Act, ukiangalia hizi ma bodies zenye zimepewa now the mandate to make sure that whatever is there is followed in one way or the other. Kama hizi za financing, campaign financing, hiyo ilikanyagwa kitambo, wakamalizana nayo, wakarusha huko, whatever the amount they had walispend. Hizi za election offenses, hizo zinafanyika bado, whether you like it or not. I don't know how we can do it, kwa sababu IBC ama any other organ yenye iko na mandate ya to take care of that cannot do it alone, kwa sababu wewe unatoka Machakos, unachukuliwa, unawekwa kwa matatu, unapelekwa polling station yenye iko mostly kwa hizi cosmopolitan, labda tuseme Nakuru, Kisumu, whatever, so that you can beat the opponent. So the people who are electing this person in that constituency basically do not have the power to bring in a representative they want, kwa sababu mtu from elsewhere amenunuliwa, amekuja akaregister, akakuja akachukua that mandate ya ku-elect mtu mwenye hampendi, hamjui, hamtaki. Another offense yenye niliona which was prevalent, hiyo ni ya ya the nominations. So ulikuwa unaona kwa nominations like okay, niliona mostly watu wanafika mahali, see, it was agreed watatumia Kim's kit. So wakafika mahali wakarealize no, the guys who inaitwanga ku export ama ku import voters from other constituencies, wakarealize now it won't work. So what did they do? Wakaamua Kim's kit iwekwe kando, we use this. And it was decided mostly at the polling center levels hapo. So vitu kama hizo ni vitu zenye we can ourselves as voters refuse, tukatae. Sometimes it is okay to take action yourselves. Kama mtu anafanya vitu za upuzi kama hizo, you can raise an alarm, alafu zikue ziangaliwe. Otherwise, kuna the second part of your question sikupata, nime sana.
I asked, do you feel like hiyo kutolewa kwa these numbers on the screens,
okay.
Do you feel like itasaidia pia kutoa
kupunguza tension ama kutoa ile watu kupigana?
Yes.
As it is right now, okay, sometimes huwa tuna assume Kenyans wameona Mwangaza, they won't fight, but nimekwambia because of the emotions and what is attached to that ndio huwa ina drive Kenyans, kwa sababu wanasema a hungry man is an angry man.
Sure.
So somebody will look for any action, even though nimeona at least when kwa sababu it is very easy for somebody who is it doesn't require you to be an intelligent person. You just need to be somebody who is an average person to realize that kama umetupiwa mahesabu 20, 30, 15 kwa the same box, and then waseme you take numbers zenye utatake, uanze kutali, what we can contest about ni the final tally. But kama hawa wameanza, maybe wamepick from constituencies za tuseme hizi the top parties ni Azimio and UDA. So if they were to pick from Kenya Kwanza, mingi zitoke Kenya Kwanza, basically the counting itakuwa ina favor mjamaa wa Kenya Kwanza. If they were to pick the first nini za kwanza figures za kwanza zikuwe ni za Azimio, basically Azimio fella will be it will be favoring him. So until we get the final, na unaona when you guys mlikuwa mnaanza kufika kwa final results mukahepa, I think mulikatazwa ama I don't know what happened, but muliacha, you didn't display. Kwa sababu gani? People were looking at the polling stations hizo form 34A zenye zimesubmitiwa. So if you are telling me one candidate anashindia mwingine 20,000 na nini the form 34As zimebaki less than 100, any person atakwambia we already know, kwa sababu this remaining form 34As zinaweza kuambia zinatoka wapi, and from what has been happening it is very easy for you to tell kama zinatoka Central nini Rift Valley, basically zitafavor nani wa Kenya Kwanza. Kama zenye zimebaki 100 zinatoka Nyanza, basically zitafavor mtu wa Azimio. So to avoid that, ndio unaona they refrained, kwa sababu it was very easy for guys to call these elections even though you are not certain, kwa sababu you just look at what is remaining, where they are coming from, and then you can be able to tell. So hiyo ndio media imeavoid. I don't know if it was a directive or wenyewe waliamua ku avoid so that you are not labeled as the cause of whatever will happen.
And I've heard you talk about the IEBC. It sounds like you're feeling IEBC was not fully prepared for these elections?
In one way or the other, like now the situations I have given you, easy situations za mwisho, and then you see, okay, they come out and say, you know, court orders left, right and center. I agree with them, but then on the elections day, that is why sometimes mimi nakuwa hapo katikati. On the elections day, the court had decided tunaenda na manual and the electronic register.
Yes.
Before the eve of the election day. On Monday evening, a Kenyan goes to court. I think they appealed, and they were told, you know what, no manual register. Then the KIMS kit failed in some regions. So what did they do? They authorized the use of manual register.
Yes.
So when it comes to that, then you just accept you are in Kenya. Yeah. So you can't wholly blame them. We partly blame them for being not adequately prepared, but also when you listen to their rebuttal, then you actually see some sense. Because if I don't even have a name for that guy who went to court on that day just to oppose the manual register, I do not even know the person. I don't want to call that person the name I want to call him.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, asante, tunashukuru sana.
Yeah.
Kulingana na IEBC and I quote, the winner of the presidential elections needs at least 50 plus 1% of valid votes and at least 25% of votes from 24 counties.
Very
and
true.
What will happen? Ni nini itafanyika? Tuseme, for example, we know kufikia sasa tunaye William Ruto wa Azimio, tunao wanne, tunao William Ruto wa UDA, tunaye Raila Odinga wa chama cha Azimio, tunaye Wajakoya wa chama cha Roots, alafu tunaye Wahiga Mwaure. Ni nini kitafanyika itakapofika kuna labda hawa wawili, wagombea wawili ambao watapata, they get the same marks, tuseme wafike the same percentage? Nini IEBC ama koti imejitayarisha vipi kuhusika na kuweza kusaidia ili kusiwe na utata?
koti haiwezi zuia, IEBC pia haiwezi zuia. Sheria iko, it is very clear. The law is very clear. In case of that tie and the winner not garnering 50 plus 1. 50 plus 1 is a very simple math. Ama ni English. It is English. So wanasema hivi. To assume votes cast 8 million. People ndio wali cast votes. So wanasema kama it is the 4 as they are right now. Inatakana the winner akuwe na 4 million plus 1 vote. So kama huyu mtu atakuwa na 4 million flat, alafu the opponent akuwe na 4 million flat, ama wakuwe tuseme na 3 alafu the other two wagawane. Sio? Yeah, actually that is how it is supposed to be, so that kama uko na 350 hiyo inamaanisha 3.5 hii inamaanisha we have to go for another elections. That is actually stipulated in the law. Na wanasema it is supposed to happen within 30 days. Yeah, 30 days after the decision of the body. Yes, so tukienda hapo after now when we are going there, we will have to request the two tailing candidates wawache the two waende. So when we go for this one now, inakuwa ni simple majority. Basically, whoever wins, even if it is by 1 vote, anaenda through. Yes.
Wow, shukran.
And when I hear you, I want us to we will be reviewing those results vile ziko sahihi. Na lakini pia ningependa pia tuelewe.
Yes.
Umejaribu kutueleza what is going on kwa nini, lakini pia kama kisheria sasa, wewe kama mwanasheria ningependa pia utueleze kwa lugha ya to the layman's language, sana kwa in a layman's language ambayo mwananchi wa kawaida ataweza kuelewa. Utueleze what is Form 34A, Form 34B, Form 34C. Tunaelewa pia kuna Form 36, Form 37. Unaweza tu katueleza kwa lugha ambayo Mkenya pia anaelewa, ili iwe rahisi, kwa sababu saa zingine tunasema Form 34A hazijakamilika kupeanwa, Form 34B zimeanza kupeanwa, lakini saa zingine pia pengine anayetusikiza hajaelewa ni nini hiyo tunayoisema.
Okay, kwa Kenya mi ile yenye naweza insist saizi sana, wewe kama unaangalia what we are looking at, kwa sababu saizi okay, kama mimi nilimalizana na maforms zingine kitambo sana, nikisikia governor wangu ni huyu, MP ni huyu, MCA ni huyu, then I'm good. So saizi focus mostly iko kwa Form 34A. Form 34A ndio hiyo ya presidential results. Hiyo hata ndio ningesihi washikilie, hizi zingine wachana nazo, kwa sababu those ones, kwa sababu I know so much that what matters to a Kenyan. Ndio umeona mahali wameruhusu huko, let them be declared at the county level, at the constituency level. Why? Kwa sababu they are not as serious to a Kenyan as these ones. Okay, ukienda legally they are so serious, but then to a Kenyan, to an average Kenyan, presidential elections zina matter a lot. Na ndio unaona nasema concentrate kwa 34A, which is that one that contains the presidential results, ambazo ndio unaona zinatuangaisha saizi, ndio zinafanya hatulali. Unalala ukiamka saa 6, ukiamka saa 9 unaangalia TV vile zimekuwa zikiongesha, uzingizi inaenda, unakuwa pia wewe ni counting ama returning officer. So that is where I can ask Kenyans, I can request Kenyans, if it is a layman's language, niseme form 34A ndio inabeba uzito yote ambayo unaambiwa the returning officer, ule mwenye anachukua results za form 34 ambayo ni ya presidential results, 34A ambayo ni ya presidential results, ni Chebukati. Na ndio unaona watu wanasema Chebukati form 34A, Chebukati form 34A, kwa sababu that is where now everything we have focused there. Hizo ma 34B, hizo zingine 37 whatever, hizo they mostly ziko so much concentrated hapo chini constituency county. Yes, they matter to Iebc, but to us, na ule layman mwenye umesema, sipendi kuita layman, huwa napenda kuita raia wa kawaida. Sisi raia wa kawaida hapo ndio tunaangalia, na ni kwa sababu tumefunzwa, tukaiga na tukaiweka ikamea ndani kwetu that ule rais atachaguliwa ndiye atamaanisha maisha yako inaenda wapi. Kama watu wenu kama watu wenu, those people who voted for that particular candidate,
Yes.
it has been made to us that this is the only chance you have to get access to services. And kuna katamu kanatembea Kenya, connection. It starts here.
Right.
Yes.
And because I want us to take a short break,
Yes.
so I will come back with a certain question that I want you to explain to us. But in case you're watching us and you really want to know or understand something, unaweza tuma ujumbe wako kwa 22914. Tutakuwa tukizipitia hizo jumbe zote, na pia tuko live kwenye Facebook Mwangaza TV na pia kwenye YouTube Mwangaza TV Kenya. Kwa sasa nataka tuchukue mapumziko mafupi tu, lakini tunarudi na pia mgeni wetu atakuwa akitueleza zaidi kuhusiana na mambo ambayo yanaendelea kwenye taifa. Tumeona mambo mengi yakifanyika, tumeona kuhesabua kwa kura kukifanyika pale Bomas, na tumekuwa tukiona mwenyekiti wa Iebc akiweza kuaddress the nation several times, na pia tumeona the transition committee wakiweza kuaddress the nation. Pia ni mambo mengi tu ambayo yameweza kufanyika, so tutakuwa tunarudi na mgeni wetu right after this a very short break. Atakuwa akitueleza zaidi kuhusiana na yale yanaendelea, so tunaomba tu usiondoke kwa sababu tunarudi.
will be allowed on the floor of the auditorium. Everyone else who comes into this building will sit at the respective marked areas in the dais. Nobody else is allowed to access this floor of the auditorium apart from the people that I've described. Secondly, presidential agents are allowed to have a laptop for purposes of having downloaded the forms 34A from the public portal or from the API access given to them. They can download in their one laptop, and they will be allowed to counter-check the result forms downloaded from the web portal against what the returning officers will provide them with. And so every agent will have one laptop per desk. We've allowed, even yesterday, there were some agents that had laptops. There is something circulating in the media that one politician was kicked out having brought in a laptop. There was nothing wrong with the laptop of that political party agent having it in the Tallying Center floor. So that kind of misinformation, character assassination, the Commission does not encourage and would want those propagating such lies to restrain themselves so that the country can be peaceful. We have 2 coordinators of Iebc managing the floor each time. And if there are any issues being raised by any agent or any chief agent, the coordinators will be the first point of contact, and the coordinators will escalate to the Commission if need be. The Commission is fully aware that we have 7 days to declare the presidential results, and we are committed to ensure that we comply with the Constitution and the applicable laws. We will not allow anybody, including agents of political parties, agents of presidential candidates, to frustrate the effort of trying to comply with the 7-day deadline. And therefore, we have agreed that agents will play a facilitative role in terms of trying to expedite the verification process on the various, that is taking place in the various desks. We have deployed security around the tally floor, and if need be, we will increase. But depending on how peaceful the floor will be, we will reduce. We urge everyone coming into the floor, into the auditorium, whether you will be on the floor for specific roles or observing from the dais, to be respectful to the Commission employees, to be respectful to their fellow Kenyans, and to be respectful to our guests who are here by way of election observation. Let us all maintain decency, and we have already established how we can complain, how complaints can be escalated in case there will be any. And so for all those who are coming and who are not supposed to access the floor to remain seated calmly and observe from the comfort of the seats we provided at the dais and the stairs. We do not want to see people coming into this auditorium with printed material. Now that we are asking presidential candidate agents to have a laptop with downloaded 34As, which means they will have PDF copies of the downloaded 34As. We do not expect any presidential agent to bring in any paper material into the Tally Center. And so these are the discussions we had and the resolutions we had, and we hope and wish that we will all comply so that we can have a smooth process and the Commission can meet its constitutional and other statutory deadlines. Asanteni sana. There is misinformation, disinformation, talking about the Commission systems having been compromised. I will invite the CEO to speak to that and assure the country that all is safe.
Thank you very much. There are information, or misinformation, or disinformation going around that the Commission systems have been compromised, and that even the results portal that we are hosting has also been compromised. We would like to assure the country that nothing like that has happened. Of course, we anticipated that there are people who will try to hack our systems, and we put mechanisms in place to ensure that our systems are basically secured. We are monitoring all our systems at all levels, at network level, at application level, at database level, and even at operating system level. Nothing like that has happened. Of course, we know people are not sleeping. They want to make sure that our systems are down. I don't think there is any time that even our portal has twinked that it was down for even a second. This is because of the mechanism we have put in place. So we assure the whole country that our systems are actually secure. And if there is any doubt, please talk to us. Don't send misinformation outside there. Please talk to us, and mechanisms we have put in place are foolproof. Thank you very much.
Good day.
All right, that is at the Bomas of Kenya, and we've been having the Iebc officials addressing the media, or rather addressing the country on what is going on. And of course, they are having some issues with the with some members of the, or rather some parties or agents of the parties, and they were there to just put things in order, rather to bring some details clear to Kenyans, that their systems are still safe and there is no hacking that is being done in their systems, of which they say that they are aware of the 7 days that they have been given by the law, and they are doing everything they can. They remain committed to ensuring that they comply to the law, and they are also working to ensure that nobody will come in to frustrate their efforts to make their efforts of making sure they comply with the law. And they also say that security has been deployed around the tally floor to, and they can add the security agents or reduce them according to the cooperation that will be shown around that tally floor. And also they are urging Kenyans and the political agents to ensure that they maintain decency and also be at peace through the entire exercise. And anyone with an issue should just use the right channel to address those issues, to ensure that it is safe and also that it is a peaceful. That is what they mean by decency, that you can make sure there is decency by using the right procedure, or rather the right criteria to address issues. There is also an issue with misinformation of compromise in their systems, which they have assured Kenyans that everything is put in order and their mechanisms are in order. They have put in place mechanisms to ensure that everything is in order, and also that there is no hacking of their systems. That they have also assured Kenyans, to be more precise, Kenyans are being assured that their systems are still in place. Their systems are still in place, so there's no need to worry as Kenyans. That is the message of the IEBC today.
They've also mentioned something that no party leader or agent in the facility, in the Bomas facility, is allowed to tamper with the process.
Right.
And as you've heard earlier on, there's something he has mentioned, that only one laptop is allowed in the desk because of the misinformation that there's a laptop going along or going around, and it's kind of involved with a certain political party.
Right.
So as Kenyans, as you've heard, there's no one or anything tampering. There's no one or anything tampering with the IEBC portal. It's safe, and they've said they had taken safety measures. Cause we know the websites tunasemaga kila hizi vitu zote ziliumbwa na binadamu, na he said they were aware maybe some people will try hacking on the systems, and cause they knew that kuna vile walikuwa wamejipanga kwa hakuna yeyote ambaye atakuja kujihusisha ama kujihusisha na yale ambayo yanaendelea kwenye portal. Kwa hivyo kama Mkenya ukiwa umesikia lolote labda au kumeibiwa ama kumefanyia hivi ama kuna yeyote ambaye anacheza na hizo portal, usimsikize. Yeah, according to the IEBC, the portals are safe, everything is safe, security is safe. Na mwenzangu hapa ametaja vizuri sana. Amesema wana uhakika na wanajua vizuri sana. According to the law, they only have 7 days mpaka watangaze mshindi. Yeah, and this reminds you Kenyans, yeah, it's good to be patient. Muwe watulivu. Mwache kusumbua, mbona tutajui. Kuwa watulivu, mwache IEBC ifanye kazi yao.
Kweli. Na kumbuka pia tuna mgeni wetu hapa studioni kwa jina la Newton, Newton Musembi, ambaye he's an advocate and he's talking to us about matters the law. And to get back to our guest Newton, kuna kitu ambacho IEBC wamemaliza kusema ya kwamba there is misinformation. Now, you see, you're standing from a position of law, and you have knowledge of how the law should be implemented in the country. And wakiongea kuhusu misinformation or rather the information that is going on at the social media platforms and in other social media platforms, do you think as Kenyans we are also overreacting, or as the media or as the press we are also doing more than the extra in giving our informations and giving making the Kenyans to be aware of what is going on? Do you think we are also doing it excessively?
No. One thing that I want to be clear on is that the law will never cease to be made. And the law always comes there to correct something that, you know, was detrimental ama haikuwa, so this thing happened, ndio wakakuja waweke hii sheria at least to try and avoid that thing happening again in future, which basically hurts the society. So hata this issue ya IEBC kuwapatia media the authority to, and each and every other fella who is interested kwenda kuchukua hizo vitu na afanye tally was to try to curb the misinformation. the main reason why kuna kuanga na misinformation is first of all creation of room for that.
Yeah.
When you leave somebody akiwa in suspense, any information that will come there ataikula.
Kweli.
They will consume that information, so it will be an uphill task for you to come trying to correct the misinformation. Ndio umesikia nikisema hapa when they were talking how much assurance is assurance. Kwa sababu you know somebody kama wewe haujaongea alafu mtu akuje aseme nani alisema hivi ama anasema hivi, it is very easy for somebody to pick up that, kwa sababu you were silent but somebody decided to take up your role na amefanya hivyo. So ndio unaona now they are coming in as a rebuttal. Unaona mtu asha state case yake, sasa wewe unakuja kujaribu kucancel, which is so difficult than ungepatiana hiyo information in a timely manner. So if these guys are in a position to check that before it happens, ambia watu our systems are not compromised, we are working on this, we have 7 days. Kenyans ni watu wana understand very well, very easily. We have 7 days, we are working on this. It has taken us 5 years to prepare for this. So if you waited for 5 years, what is 7 days? Wacha tufanye 7 days, everything is in order. Don't leave room for doubts, kwa sababu if you leave room for doubts, obviously you are allowing somebody to come and sow the seeds of distrust. Unaona? Yeah.
And so you had there's something you had talked about before we took a break on the readiness of IEBC for these elections. Na pia ningependa utueleze now that you had a question you questioned the preparedness of the IEBC. Ningependa utueleze now that in their website wameallow Kenyans to access this portal, do you feel like they are hitting their target, the target of making sure this is fair and transparent and also gaining the trust of Kenyans and the integrity issue? Do you feel like they are really covering that gap?
It goes without saying that actually IBC have done their best when it comes to that, like now, you know, clearing the air on the transparency, yeah, tallying and you know and transmitting of the votes, the form 34As. That way they have tried so hard. That one I can give them 70%. Yes, hakuna mahali penye itakosa doubt, but huwa tunasema at least try to minimize the doubts, so that you know when you minimize the doubt, this thing will come, itaenda, nobody will even want to go kwa streets ati akisema sijui vitu gani. But when penye wameanza sasa these things ya kuwacha room and then they come and try to correct the information that has been, you know, passed on, inakuwa ni mbaya, kwa sababu vile tu nimewaelezea, he has stated very well, we have 7 days. You can easily come and say vile nimesema 7 days hata ni kidogo kwa what we are working in, but we are trying so hard to make sure within these 7 days tumepata, we have done our best. The law was not it was not blind ikipatiana 7 days, because they actually went through what is supposed to happen na wakaona within 7 days it will have actually happened. Kwa sababu if you the media guys have been able to tally these things, and actually if it was not for, I think, small issues here and there, by yesterday media ingeendelea, we would have known who is the winner. Yeah. So if the media can do that within, yesterday was how many days after elections? Was it three? Yes. If the media was able to do it in 3 days, then you it is so difficult for you to come and tell people that you need 7 days. You have to explain yourself beforehand why you need 7 days. Something the media, whose purpose is not to do that. That is your purpose.
Right.
They were able to do it within 3 or 4 days.
Just to interrupt you on about whatever you're saying.
Yes.
You know, the same public that wenyewe wenye tunasema reason, unajua time yenye tulikuwa tuna display, the time we were displaying, as we had said earlier, you go to a certain station, unaenda kwa certain station unapata huyu ndo anaongoza, huyu mwingine ndo ako nyuma. Ukienda kwa station nyingine unapata huyu ndo anaongoza, huyu ndo ako nyuma, unapata iko vice versa. Alafu vile results zilikuwa hivyo, ilikuwa na contention kati ya Wakenya, kwa ulikuwa unapata wengine wako like kutendaje. And yet you're saying that we as media tungeendelea ku display hizo results on air, labda Wakenya wangeelewa. Ndo maana basi IEBC natuambia tu wako na hizi siku zimebakia, ndo maana IEBC wanatueleza tuwape hizi siku 7. Unaona, just kuongea kuhusu hayo, unaona shida haiko kwa media ama shida haiko kwa IEBC? Sababu unaona the same public tukidisplay, the public says mnatupa tension, mnatupa confusion. Tusipo display, the public inasema mbona IEBC wanataka, mbona IEBC watangazi sayama, mbona IEBC yatangaze abe. Tutafanyaje kuweza like kuzungumza na public, ama kuweza kufanya public wenyewe wakaweza kuelewa si mapenzi yetu, unaona, si mapenzi ya IEBC kukosa ku display.
Unajua, any public, anyway, there are situations which media, IEBC, the judges, our judges, whoever, anytime unajipata you are the referee, expect that to happen. What do I mean? If you are a referee between 2 teams, Team A ikishinda, they'll have something to say, something terrible to say about you. Team B ikishinda, they'll have something terrible to say about you. Team A, on the other hand, itakuwa na something good to say about you. So that will always happen. And that cannot deter you from doing your work. So, Mimi, okay, I know the reason why you guys stopped tallying to the finality. It's because of the sensitivity of this issue. And niko very sure mnajua, the only excuse you guys have, you didn't have Form 34As. Mulizipata tu, just like any other person. So instead of somebody accusing media A, B or C, access the portal, do the tally yourself, and then useme no, this is how. But I do not trust the tallies done by each of the agents, our participants wawili. This one will come akwambia no, we have tallied 47 43 and zinasema our presidential candidate is the one leading. Huyu wa BP atakuja aseme no, ours is leading vile tumetali. So confusion everywhere. That is why I think you guys refrained. Mkasema we will not finalize the tallying, otherwise we will carry the cross that IEBC is supposed to carry. Now IEBC is not supposed to be ati wakuwe scared that sijui whatever will happen. Theirs is to say, you played football, nyinyi, it was live, everybody was watching, you guys scored 3, you guys scored 2. Asiwezi sema watu wameshinda wa 3. So you can't blame me for being the referee in this match. But referee ukienda unaongea na one of the players, alafu rudi uongee na huyu, alafu rudi hapo katikati useme, you know, I was telling this one hivi and I was telling this one hivi, no one will will actually believe you. They won't trust you. But if you speak to them na uko hapo katikati useme no, wewe this is what is happening, wewe this is what is happening, then obviously you will be clean. So IBC have nothing to worry about. They should just work within the law. Wasikunje anything kwa sababu anytime they try to wakikunja kitu kidogo tu people will make a mountain out of that anthill.
Na tukiendelea kuongea kuhusu IEBC,
Yes.
Do you think it will be a wise decision or a wise step for the IEBC wafanye hivi, wakuja waambie watu wa media, we understand
Yes.
there is a station
Yes.
that is allocated for the media at Bomas, yeah?
Yes.
Do you think it will be wise labda IEBC kujisemea okay, sasa tukatai kuna station ya media media waseme sasa tuachieni saa hii kazi, wacha sisi ka IEBC tufanye tallying zetu, tufanye kila kitu, and when we want to address the nation tutakuja tuseme we have a press briefing, tunataka ku address the nation, instead saa ya kuwa like media iko hapo kila wakati. Will it be a wise decision?
The main reason why the media and every other Kenyan was allowed access to whatever is being sent to IBC, that is 34A, Form 34A, is to ease tension. It is to convince Kenyans that there is transparency, is to treat the mistakes that were there in 2017 and 2014 after the elections post our new constitution. So that is the reason why these guys said, you know what, for us, kwa sababu in most cases media in this country has become the civil society. Yeah, because you, the fourth these days, you are the ones who are seen as the eye of the common Kenyan. That is why they gave you access to that information and even to displaying the results there. So the worst thing is for somebody to give you such authority and then akuambie stop. What do you think will happen even if the tension at this moment is at this level? So if today you were to say, okay, tuseme tu wamezima stations, wamesema no, solely it is us to say, leo immediately you will hear believe you me, itaanza kukua mbaya because people will start imagining what is happening behind the doors of IBC. Why now? Why are you preventing us access to that information now? What do you want to change? Actually, they will be in arms with the IBC. Both the candidates will be fighting him, the IBC. Yeah.
But don't you think how about they did this, they allowed all of us because they gave us the access to their portal,
Yes.
to do the tallying.
Yes.
How about everybody would just be allowed to give their results, then they come in and verify?
Yeah, the irony, the only irony there, which I think IBC maybe they foresaw or maybe they didn't, but the only irony to me is you telling people, you know, it's like you have said we have 3 people, the runners up is so and so, the first runners up, is it the first or the second runners up is this person. Now the first runners, when you go to the second person before the first person, you don't even need to mention the first person. So that is why they usually do this. You call the runners up, then you go to the winner before you, then you leave. The second person automatically is known. So if Kenyans today were to be told by the media or by their calculations that this is the winner, despite them knowing that yes, the truth is that Maggie or Newton is the winner in these elections, they will still dispute. They will still dispute. So sometimes you say, you know what, you are mandated, you tell these guys. That is why IBC sometimes they tell you things you don't actually get, that we gave them the opportunity to tally, to display the way you have displayed, but the only person who will come and announce and clarify, you see the irony, the only person who will clarify these manual documents which were sent is the national returning officer, who is Chepukati. Yes. So what are you telling Kenyans? That whatever is in the portal, whatever has been tallied from the portal is not even 75% trustworthy. So you need to confirm, which is a good thing, but then where does it leave us? Because if you yourself, the commission, want to see the manual thing, which we now cannot see, because the only thing we can see is what is in the portal. But you are saying, no, even I as the commission do not actually verify what is in the portal unless I see the manual form 34A. So which basically says that if you guys tallied what is in the portal and it gives you for example Wajakoya as being the winner, IBC can come and tell you, no, what was on in the portal, actually we confirmed and realized that there was a mistake where this form was supposed to be for this guy, and actually it has overturned what you guys had stated as being the results, and the real results are this one. What will that leave us as a country? So it is a double-edged sword. Yeah.
Hai, kumbuka tuko Debeni 2022. Hapa tunapata habari kuzipata kweli kweli. Na kumbuka ukiwa na swali unaweza ukatuma kwenye 22914 nambari yetu ya arafa, pia kwenye mtandao wa Facebook Mwangaza TV, na pia kwenye YouTube channel ambayo ni Mwangaza TV Kenya. Na tunaendelea na mazungumzo yetu hapa. Ukiwa na swali tu lolote, ukisikia kuna mahali hujaweza kurithika, unaweza ukatuma swali lako in this time that we are still having this discussion before we bring it to a close. Na naona muda wetu pia umesonga sana na hapa maswali ni mengi kweli kweli. Lakini tukirudi kwa mgeni wetu, niko na swali ambalo tumekuwa tukiliona kwa hizi form 34As ambazo tumekuwa tukidownload kwenye mitandao. Unapata saa zingine kwa some other polling stations, unapata the number of voters is little compared to the number of the votes cast. There is a difference between wale watu ambao wameweza kupiga kura na the number the votes that have been casted.
Okay, let me get you clear. Watu wamepiga kura ni 5.
Tuseme for instance Nairobi, tuseme let's give an example with Kasarani.
Yes.
At Kasarani you find one polling center.
Yes.
In that form 34A there were 365 voters.
Yes.
But registered voters there were 365 registered voters.
Yes.
But the number of the votes cast is 400.
No.
We've been seeing this in form 34As. So how should this electoral body deal with this case?
The less I comment on that, the better. Because actually that is a very serious irregularity.
Right.
Yeah, because how can that even be? Because if actually that is happening, then I don't see us going to the next phase without a petition and without the Supreme Court overturning this thing.
But you see, you're standing at a place of the law.
Yes.
What should the law? What does the law say
As in,
should be
there are some
done?
things which even
such-
the law doesn't need to waste its time addressing, because that is actually a very serious irregularity. Because how
Alright.
can that even happen? You tell me.
Yeah, you see, there is the factor of this has happened, but you see, I also
No,
understand
if it is a mistake, then that one, maybe that is the reason they want to get the forms, confirm, verify, and then they can do the corrections, which I have actually told you guys in white and black, that in case there is going to be a very serious discrepancy between what is in the portal and what this commission is verifying, it's not going to go well with the trust of Kenyans in the process, in the entire process.
But if I may ask, still on the same,
Yes.
you see, I also understand that every aspect of life,
Yes.
there is a law that should govern that
Yes.
very thing.
Yes.
You see,
Yes.
we even say in the Bible there is a law to govern it and everything that
Yes,
is
yes,
happening.
yes.
What probably if we can get an insight of what the law says should happen in such a case that the number of votes cast is more than the number of the voters registered in that very polling center.
That is why I have said that is an open. It is a factual. How do I put it? Okay, that is openly. It is something that has been. How do I put it without hurting somebody? Okay, it is a commission or omission of what actually any other person can just tell that here there was something that happened, because you are pointing to a very serious. Imagine.
Okay.
It is like telling me. Okay, it's like a doctor telling a patient who has been waiting for 3 years
Right.
or 5 years to get a baby, that person that you are now expectant, knowing very well that after 9 months basically it's going to be proved wrong, because that thing they are doing, they know very well that it is better you steal within, because that is stealing actually.
Sorry for cutting you short.
Yes.
I want us to take a very short commercial break. Then we are coming back. Then you will explain to us, because we really want to understand the depth of this whole issue, so that we can have some clarity somewhere, and so that we can also not walk in with a blurry sight.
Yes.
We walk also in a very clear sight, as all these tallying and the announcement is also pending, and as Kenyans are still waiting. So I want us to take just a short commercial break, but we are coming back with more.
Yes, welcome back ndani ya Debeni 2022. And before we went for a break, we had a very big discussion yenye imebidi kwanza tu cut short cause ni kubwa sana. But before we get back to our discussion, nita acknowledge just a few people wenye umetuma feedback zenyu, and don't forget if you have any question or queries or anything you want to know from us, our SMS number is 22914. Our Facebook page is Mwangaza TV, and we are live on both Facebook and YouTube, which is Mwangaza TV Kenya. And I'm just gonna acknowledge just a few people. We have Purity Mugo, I can see unasema watching sana, thank you very much. We have Margaret Wamboi Kimani, thank you very much. We have Denise Wanjala, thank you very much na kuona. Tukona Elisha Kipchirchir, anasema I'm watching live from Nandi County. Ni champion Elisha, thank you very much, God bless you. Tukona Sherin Dwati anasema I love my motherland Kenya kabisa. Tukona mwingine hapa anasema anaitwa KK Karemi, anasema Daisy, good afternoon. Amesalimika, afternoon to you too. Tukuna Dennis Otieno anasema I'm watching from Uthiru, but tuko CBD at work. Kazi lazima iendelee as long as tuko na amani si wote. Tukuna Suzy Mhesha anasema warembo hai. Those are just a few wenye nimesoma ujumbe wao, lakini unaweza endelea kutuma ujumbe wako 22914 na upande wetu wa Facebook ambao ni Mwangaza TV, na pia upande wetu wa YouTube ambao ni Mwangaza TV Kenya. Lakini kwa sasa wacha turudie mazungumzo yetu.
Kumbuka tuko na mgeni wetu studioni. Na pia vile vile ukitaka ukiwa na swali tu kama vile mwenzangu ameweza kusema, you can just send in your question, or in case you have a comment you want to bring on board, you can do that. Na we were talking about, back to our guests, we were talking about mahali ambapo unapata voters ni wachache, and the tally, or rather the entire
the number of registered voters ni wachache, lakini wale ambao walijitokeza kupiga kura ni wengi.
Exactly. We were talking about that. Sijui kama ulikuwa umaliza kueleza kuhusu hiyo.
Okay. Sawa.
Sijui kama ulikuwa umaliza kueleza kuhusu hiyo, lakini kama haukuwa umaliza utaeleza tu. Lakini pia ningependa kuuliza ili pia uzijibu kwa pamoja, na pia kwa upesi tu kidogo uweze kuzicombine pamoja. Kuna this issue of in case the Iebc wamepewa 7 days to complete this whole thing. In case they are not able to do that within 7 days, nini kinaweza fanyika? Where can the country be? What happens to the commission? You can try to explain hiyo, at least tujue what can happen.
Okay. Kwanza okay, if I am to pick up from where I had left, the issue to do with the discrepancies, it should be noted that sometimes, I think at the beginning I had indicated that there is a situation where I was told the presiding officers, the clerks, the deputy presiding officers, these temporary employees of Iebc,
Yes,
had to take a minimum of 2 days without sleep, without even, changing shifts, to work and deliver the results. What do you expect from such a person?
of course, fatigued.
That person is fatigued.
Right.
That person can interchange the results innocently,
Right.
by mistake. So in that case, then basically labda vile nimefikiria, maybe the results were supposed to be interchanged. Actually, she or he interchanged the results,
Right.
akachukua the number of registered voters, zikakuja side ya number of votes cast,
Yes.
which even though it goes into the substratum, as in the subject matter,
Yes.
which is votes zenye zitakuwa tallied eventually huko mwisho, but it is something that can be realized and corrected at the process of verification. In that manner, or in that for that matter, maybe this is the reason why there must be a verification. Actually, hiyo fatigue, hiyo, that is torture to human nature. Mimi siwezi last 3 days without sleep. Hata hao watu wanajaribu. So if you want me to give you figures zingine zinakaa satanic kama hizo, then you torture me that way. 3 days without sleep, ukipata hizo vitu hazina errors, then you you are next to godliness. So maybe that is the reason. Na kama hiyo ndio reason, that is why IEBC is taking up the responsibility of verifying, na vitu kama hizo I think they'll just correct them and then watuambie no, instead of 365 votes cast, it is supposed to be 365 votes cast and 370 votes that were registered. So if in that case, then it will be corrected. Sidhani kama hiyo ni grievous sana. But in case where somebody is doing such a thing, knowing very well that ni mbaya, and then there is a returning officer who did not even verify, because they, the presiding officer will hand over the documents to the returning officer, who will now submit the results to the national tally. So basically, the error there should be realized and corrected at the verification stage. Yeah, otherwise, let's take it as if it is just an error because of the fatigue.
So it's not a cause for alarm.
And no, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, because
So,
it shouldn't be. In case, actually, you said it is a tallying center, not a polling station.
Yeah.
A tallying center. Then maybe it is a mistake by the returning officer, which can be verified and corrected and then verified and submitted.
So that is kama ulikuwa mmoja wa wale muli download, then you found that there is such an error in the form 34As. I think that question has been answered, and of course, as he has said, there is no cause for alarm. So it's something that will be sorted by the commission, and you can probably answer us that question in case hizo siku 7 zimeisha na IEBC wako na hiyo pressure, because of course it's pressurizing, just as you said. In case wako na hiyo pressure na siku 7 zimeisha, what does the law say that should be done now that siku 7 zimeisha na ni sheria? Jambo gani litafanyika kwao?
So if the law says that working at 9 p.m. is illegal, and then you go out
Past curfew.
past 9 p.m. What happens? So you've broken the law.
Sure.
Yeah. So when they break the law, what is expected of them?
Action will be taken.
Yes, so basically, and they cannot do that because they know the responsibility. Actually, as I had stated earlier, the framers of our constitution had that in mind. They know that within 7 days,
Right.
they have enough time to do whatever that is needed. So if they go outside that time frame that they have been given,
Yes.
then actually they know that they will be going against the law, and they will be hurting Kenyans the more, because whatever they will be doing will be an illegality, the entire thing, and we will go through the what is indicated under Article 140, actually 140, petitions, what, and then we go back to elections.
Okay, talking about numbers, as my colleague continues to work on something, talking about numbers, in total we have 46,229 polling stations, na zile ambazo zimeweza kusubmit their forms ni 41,575.
Yes.
And kuna ile hapa awali nilikuwa nimequote by law, the win of the presidential na ilikuwa na 50 plus 1%. What happens if one of these candidates wenye wanapigania what happens if one of these candidates ambao wanapigania hiki kiti cha urais afikishie hiyo percentage inatakikana, and si polling stations zote 46,229 zime submit their forms, nini itafanyika?
So this one is very simple. It is simple, but at the same time inategemea from the point of view yenye wewe unaiona, kwa sababu okay, wacha ni simplify even the more. Wakitangaza hizi results okay, at the beginning, at the initial stage, mmoja alikuwa anapata 103, I think it was Azimio. The first results to be submitted, I think I was watching another Citizen, another TV station. So
Okay.
so nikaona the first Azimio had 103, and then Kenya Kwanza had was it 41? When you look at the percentage, unapata Azimio had something close to 90 or sijui ngapi, and then this other guy had something like 20. Unaona amepita. We can declare kwa sababu hizo results bado ziko chini. So hata tukifika kwa tuseme the polling stations which has already submitted the results, vile tumesema ni 41,000 and something
575.
Yes. The remaining ones, okay, the total polling stations are supposed to be from 34 A's are supposed to come from 46,000 plus.
229.
So as it is right now, we have 41. We still have 5,600 polling stations to go. So for the mathematicians or actuarists, as I have told you, they can actually tell which side the elections have gone. Those people who are first in numbers, they can actually say where the presidency has gone to from the remaining polling stations. How so? By looking at the remaining polling stations and being able to tell from the current trend of voting which side, or from the remaining polling stations, which side is going to deliver votes to which side. So assuming the remaining, okay, like now our two competitors, assuming it is the main competitors are Kenya Kwanza and Azimio. So assuming Kenya Kwanza has done very well in central Kenya, Azimio has actually done very well in Nyanza. So let me put it like this. Kenya Kwanza has done well in Rift Valley. Azimio has done well in Nyanza. So if the remaining polling stations are from Nyanza and the Azimio candidate has, assuming they have 65% ahead, the national returning officer can comfortably announce the results. If the remaining results are from Rift Valley, the remaining polling stations are from Rift Valley, the leading candidate is from Kenya Kwanza, where he has performed very well, where the Rift Valley candidate who has performed very well in Rift Valley, and the remaining polling stations are from Rift Valley, and the Kenya Kwanza candidate has 65 or 75% ahead, then the returning officer can assume that the remaining 5,000 stations basically will go to Kenya Kwanza, and it will not alter or overturn what is at the display right now. Otherwise, as it is right now, the two candidates have not even surpassed the minimum requirement as per the constitution. So it remains hearsay for you to say that even with the remaining polling stations, they'll go to Ruto or they'll go to Raila. You can't actually tell, and you cannot have I don't know where you will hide if you were to say that they'll go to the Raila's basket or to Ruto's basket, and then they come out otherwise. So basically they have to wait. For now, they'll have to wait, even though he has the powers to declare at a certain level, but he has to do that as in using common sense, because you cannot go beyond what you know that it can be overturned. Because even if tuseme one candidate has 51 or 50 plus 1,
Yes.
but we still have 5,000 polling stations. Akisema ati this polling station we assume zitaenda kwa huyu mwenye ako 50 plus 1. Tomorrow somebody is going to wake up, petition, iko na merit, kwa sababu there is no way even a mganga can tell the 5,000 polling stations zitaenda kwa this particular candidate, kwa sababu these 5,000 votes zinaezaenda kwa polling stations, zinaezaenda kwa this opponent na amshinde. So they have to wait until ziishe. Kama mmoja angekuwa 75%, tungeassume the 5,000 polling stations, kwa sababu in all fairness hazita alter change. One has 10 million, the other one has 4 million. What a declare. You don't have to waste time.
Right. And
Yes.
niko na mambo mengi kweli na ningependa tuzungumzie, lakini naona muda
nitakata time ku explain. Sawa.
Kwanza tukumbushe wa Kenya ya kwamba na wale ambao wanatutazama ya kwamba tallying is still ongoing across the country. Tallying, kuhesabu kwa kura, bado kunaendelea across the country. And at the Bomas of Kenya, we have the verification of the presidential results. That is what is happening across the country. At the Bomas of Kenya currently. At the Bomas of Kenya, we have the verification of the presidential results. And across the country, we have tallying that is going on. Kwa hivyo kuhesabu kwa kura bado kunaendelea, na tutaendelea tu tukipata matangazo ya who is the winner, who is who is going to take who is going to take charge. Remember, it's just 4 days after Kenyans exercised their democratic right that is going to cast their votes. It's 4 days that are now that have now depleted, and we continue getting the results, and the tallying still going on, and verification. You see, it's a series of things that is happening at a go. The verification of the presidential results and the tallying still going on. That is quite a lot going on, and it seems rather it's a clear indication that the Iebc is really doing what is supposed to be done, and we therefore urge Kenyans to be patient and be peaceful as the results continue to be released bit by bit. Na tukirudi kwako, ningependa utuelezee in case Mkenya amepatikana akileta vurugu, akileta vurugu, utatuelezea tu kwa muda kidogo ili tuweze pia ku wrap as you also explain a little bit, kwa sababu pia ningependa utuelezee how that process of the inauguration. Sijui utajaribu tu kukata muda kidogo, lakini ningependa utuelezee if at all someone is found amepatikana amefanya a crime ama amefanya something that is against the law na ako under a certain party. Is it the party that is to be punished, or is it the individual person that is to be punished?
Okay, so tuko na what we call the Election Offences Act. Ina stipulate all the offenses against the election and election process.
Yes.
So kuna zile vitu zenye you can attach them to a party, but kuna zile vitu zenye you can't attach them to a particular person. So assuming this, I'm talking from experience. Wewe you are an adult.
Yes.
Above 18, you are a Kenyan citizen, uko na kitambulisho, as in unajielewa. Umechukua what are they called, the ballots.
Yes.
Ballots umechukua ballots zimetikiwa in the name of Daisy ama Maggie, si ndio? Whoever it is, ukipatikana na hiyo ballot, hii si sheria now, this one I'm just asking you like an average citizen. Ukipatikana na hiyo ballot, nani mwenye yafaa shikwe?
It's me.
Kwa sababu there is no, you know, ignorance of the law is no defense. Huwezi sema alinituma na si kujua.
Yeah.
It is a defense. So hapo, in as much as mutaenda kotini, there is a petition that I had, I was in, yenye ilikuwa na mambo kama hiyo, penye mtu alipatikana amefanya, so that the law takes its course against you. You are the person. You can, kwa sababu this was the argument, actually. So how do we tell that wewe ukuenda na hizo ballots umeweka kwa jina ya this other party, but actually in real sense you are for that, so tick ballots kwa ballots zinakaa ni za Maggie, but wewe ni voter wa Daisy. You cannot tell, kwa sababu these things do happen. I had somebody telling me that okay, it is a long story, nitaikata short, that in elections mtu anafanya hivi. So somebody anajua watu wanaenda kumvotia. So Maggie knows you are the opponent. So what Maggie does, anatuma watu wake wapigwe, watu wake wapigwe wakiambiwa, anatuma watu wako wapigwe wakiambiwa usijaribu kuvotia Maggie, votia Daisy. What is the ripple effect? Maggie anatumana watu wako wachapwe wakiambiwa wasipigie Maggie.
Right.
As in they were actually going to vote for you. So akiwapigia waambie wakuvotie na anawapiga, akiwaambia wakuvotie, what does that tell about you? It says wewe unapiga watu wako wakupigie kura. So what will they do?
Of course italete,
watavotia Maggie.
true.
Lakini sijui kama mmeelewa. So it is simple. Mimi najifanya mimi ni wewe. So mimi najifanya wewe, sasa mimi watu wangu wanipigie by force, but sasa mimi ni Maggie, so napiga mimi ni Daisy, napiga watu wangu wenye najua watanipigia, na wapiga nikiwaambia wanipigie.
Yes.
So basically they are going to vote for this person mwenye anajifanya ni wewe akiwapiga. Right. So the same thing, huyu anaweza tick ballots za Maggie, but ni wewe, akijua atashikwa. so that akishikwa nazo wafikirie ni wako. That is why the law inasema Magi ndiye alishikwa, ni Magi.
Okay.
Mwenye ametikiwa kwa ballot ni questionable. We are not even sure kama anajua. Kama ni yeye angepatikana, yes, but ni wewe. So it is somehow difficult to tie the party or the candidate to an offense that has been done by another person. So that you take the cross unless there is sufficient evidence tying the party to that. Na hiyo iko addressed under the Political Parties Act. Yes. Because
So,
they marry each other. The Political Parties Elections Act, the Constitution, plus the offenses, Iebc Act, they both marry each other. They
Right.
come in. Yeah.
all right. And on your screens, we have a display of what is going on. Those are live pictures at the Bomas of Kenya, which is the verification of the presidential results. That is what is going on at the Bomas of Kenya, and those are live pictures of that exercise taking place at the Bomas of Kenya, being displayed on your screens. That is the Bomas of Kenya, where the chairman of the Iebc, Wafula Chebukati, and his team are doing that verification of the presidential results. And remember that tallying is still going on across the country. Tallying is still going on across the country. Now, time imetuonyesha kisogo.
Yeah, before tuende, there is another question ulikuwa umetai na hiyo.
Yes, I wanted you to give us a little bit of what happens during the inauguration. Na sasa director wangu sasa naye ananiambia dakika zetu zimesonga. Sijui kama you can have it
in a nutshell,
in a very short while.
So kwanza tumeanzia penye IBC, the returning officer Chebukati, National Returning Officer Chebukati ametangaza results within 7 days. And then the petition haijakuja. So we are given 14 days. 14 days, and then the following Tuesday, after 14 days, 14 days immediately preceding the declaration of the winner. We have 14 days ziishe, and then the next Tuesday. It is not supposed to be within the 14 days. It is supposed to come after the 14 days. This was informed by the previous elections zenye watu walikuwa matangazo, they declare today, by saa 2 wame swear in the president. So they said it should take the 14 days, and then the president is taken to is now assumption of office. He takes the oath, alafu within the 7 days after declaration of the results, assuming watatangaza results leo, we have 7 days. Kenyans are litigators. Ni watu wanapenda kesi. They go to court. So assuming mtu ameshikilia hiyo, whatever mumesema, that interchanging of results, akimbie kotini, wamedeclare leo, akimbie kotini kesho, they have 7 days of filing a petition. So within the 7 days, any litigator can run to court and say, no, these elections were not conducted in accordance with the law. There was a breach. This is what happened, and I want you to hear me. The Supreme Court will have 7 days. So the Supreme Court will have they will have 14 days, actually 14 days after the 7 days your petition. So you file your petition within 7 days. You can file it even within 3 days, bora ni within 7 days. The petition, the Supreme Court will count from the day you file, the day the petition was filed in court. They have 14 days to hear. So normally it is the 7 days, then the 14 days of hearing and determining the petition. So if they can dismiss the petition for want of whatever want of prosecution, it doesn't have merit, or the prosecution, the petition goes through. So if they throw out the petition, basically you have another 14 days. I think it's 14 days. Yeah. If not, they have 60 days, which they are supposed to conduct another election.
Right.
If the election is overturned, so they can do it within the 60 days. So that is what normally happens. At the assumption, there is the taking of the oath, and then which basically is done by the CJ. In absence of the CJ, it is the DCJ, the Deputy Chief Justice, or the Chief Justice. And then the president is sworn in. We have a new government, which will lapse at the end of the 5 years. And there is never a vacuum in that seat in this country. The term of President Uhuru Kenyatta comes to an end when the new president is sworn in.
Right.
Until then, he remains the president. Not only Uhuru, even
Any
the
other
person
president.
who will come.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, and just one last question.
Welcome.
The last question
Yes.
kabisa. In case huyu mtu amepatikana, is probably the president elect or the MP elect, any seat, any position. In case this person is elected by the people, you see that's the will of the people.
Yes.
Alafu huyu mtu akona kesi. You see, like right now we have many of them who have cases. What happens? Does he still lead these people with those cases, or does his leadership first put to a halt until these cases are dealt with, or what happens according
The
to
only
law?
person who is immune, and that is why these 7 days is so serious
Right.
to any litigator in this country, is because when a person becomes the president, he is immune
Right.
to both civil and criminal matters. You have to wait until when this person is out of office. I normally tell people, in law there are cases, there are matters which they so much, unlike criminal matters, civil matters, most of them operate within a stated time period. So there are cases where you are told, like insurance matters, most civil matters, you are told if action is not taken within 3 years, then they are as good as dead. You cannot go before court and say that you want to sue. You can't. You do not have local standard. You do not have the capacity.
Right.
The capacity to go to court. So in the case of a president, you wait until when
He's out of office.
now when the president is coming out of office,
Right.
in a few weeks or a few months to come, then you can now go and initiate. So if you were supposed to sue the president in a civil matter when he entered office in 2013,
Yes.
they cannot lock you out because the matter has been out of court since 2013 to 2022, yet you were supposed to file the matter within to proceed with the matter within 3 years. They will start counting the 3 years from when he seizes power.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
But for the MPs, these guys who call themselves governors,
Yes.
those ones you can sue them. Yeah, and the case will proceed even though they are there. If it is found that they are in office illegally, obviously the seats will be taken away from them.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, tuna mengi ya kuzungumzia lakini kwa leo we bring it to a close at that. Sijui Michael, Uncle, what do you have to say about this?
Sina mengi ya kusema, ile ni kukushukuru kwa kuwa si mimi peke yangu, sisi peke yangu ambao tumeweza kuyajua mengi, bali pia Mkenya kule nje ameweza kuyajua mengi. Kwa hivyo Mkenya yote ambaye alikuwa na tashwishi kuhusu ikiwa kuna mtu, ikiwa labda kuna kiongozi anaenda hivi na hivi, ni nini tunafaa tufanye, mimi kama Mkenya, na umesikia vizuri sana, kama unafikiria kuzua vurugu wewe ndio utachukuliwa hatua.
Kweli.
Si chama ambacho unasimama nacho. Tuliambiwa siku ya jana niliwaambia vizuri sana. Tunaweza kuwa tumegawanyika, wewe ni wa hii chama na mimi ni wa hiki chama. Lakini at the end of it all, we are all Kenyans, yeah? And ujue sheria bado inaona. Kwa hivyo if you're thinking of doing something fishy, serikali inakutazama.
Kweli. Hapa ni Debeni 2022, na kabla tufunge ningependa utupe your parting shot within just a minute.
Yeah.
Use your camera is this one. You can give us your parting shot and talk to that Kenyan out there. Afuate sheria, afanye. You just give us your parting shot in just 1 minute.
Okay. Kwa Wakenya wenzangu ningewapatia tu neno moja. Kuna watu wametumia milioni 20, 50 kupiga campaign, wamepoteza. Hawajachukua kamba wakajua, hawajachukua mapanga wakakatakata wale hawakuwapigia kura. Sasa wewe haujatumia hata shilingi 1, 20 ama 15, unataka kwenda kutupa maisha yako kwa sababu ya kwenda kupigana kwa sababu ya mtu. Wachana nayo. Miaka 5 ni kidogo. Ukiuliza sasa hizi President Uhuru vile hii miaka 5 imeisha, atakwambia hajui. Ingawa tumeona maendeleo amefanya, lakini kwake niko very sure hii miaka imekuwa chache. Ukiuliza Raila amengoja miaka 5, Uhuru amengoja miaka 5. Si wewe ungoje pia?
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Huyo ni mgeni wetu Newton Musembi. Asante sana kwa muda wako. Asante sana kwa creating time to be with us on the Debeni 2022 and even for your wise counsel. Umetuelimisha, tumejua mambo mengi na tunashukuru sana. Hapa tuko Debeni 2022 na sasa tunataka tuchukue mapumziko mafupi tu, lakini usiende mbali. Right after this we are having another guest who will be specializing on youth and governance. Atakuwa akitusaidia kuelewa maneno ya vijana na kuongoza kwa vijana, uongozaji kwa vijana wanaochukulia aje, tufanye nini kama vijana ili tusiwe watu wa kuzua vurugu wakati wowote ule. Atakuwa anaungana nasi in just a few minutes, lakini kwa sasa nataka tuchukue a very short commercial break, then we'll be coming back with more in a very short while.
Unatazama Mwangaza TV, tumaini lako.
Hello guys, my name is Mwangaza. I currently work at Mwangaza TV. I do graphics, I do editing, I do also camera work. I studied at Iebc Professional College. I studied for journalism and media studies, and also I studied PR. And I believe that I was looking for a job attachment, and Iebc Professional College helped me to attain attachment, and right now I'm currently working at Mwangaza TV. What I would tell the people there at the streets, or they've finished high school, if you're looking for a technical school, come to Iebc Professional College. They will help you and guide you in how you're going up. Persevere in this life, and they will be able to find you. They will be able to get you a good job. Karibu Jewel imenijenga.
Unatamani kuwa dereva shupavu? Bas, ndoto yako sasa inaweza timia. Unachohitaji tu ni uwe na umri wa miaka 18 na zaidi. Chuo cha udereva cha Jewel Institute of Advanced Driving sasa wanakutangazia kuwa kufahamu kuendesha gari kumerahisishwa vilivyo. Ukipata wakufunzi wazuri, waliohitimu na wenye uadilifu, utajua kuendesha gari kwa muda mchache mno. Jewel Institute of Advanced Driving wanakufunza udereva wa magari aina yote, magari madogo hadi udereva wa malori. Malipo yao ni nafuu zaidi. Jiandikishe leo na bila shaka hautajuta. Jewel Institute of Advanced Driving. Drive with confidence.
Chuo cha Jewel Technical College kimeleta utofauti katika elimu ya anuai kwa kuzingatia maadili bora kwenye elimu, huku kikitoa mafunzo yaliyopigwa msasa na kuidhinishwa na halmashauri ya kusimamia elimu TVET. Jewel College tunatoa mafunzo ya upishi, yani hospitality, information technology, electric and electronic engineering pamoja na plumbing, cosmetology ambayo ni pamoja na ususi, kozi ya journalism, biashara pamoja na kozi zingine nyingi. Tunatoa attachment kwa wanafunzi wetu katika viwanda mbalimbali humu nchini. Ubora wa elimu na Mwenyezi Mungu ikiwa ngao kuu ya elimu. Katika chuo cha Jewel, wanafunzi wetu wanafanya bora katika mitihani yao na kufuzu vyema. Jewel College huandaa sherehe maalum ya kufuzu kwa wanafunzi wanaofanya vyema. Mitihani yetu ni ya NEC, NITA, KASNEB, ICDL na pia ICM. Tutembelee katika afisi zetu Rwesambu, barabara kuu ya Thika, katika jumba la Jewel Complex, orofa la 6. Unaweza pia kuzungumza nasi kupitia 0701300071, 0701300071. Jewel Technical College. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Kampuni ya Kemuma Engineering System ni kampuni tajika ya uuzaji wa bidhaa zote za umeme. Kemuma Engineering System pia wanakuuzia bidhaa na vyombo mbalimbali vya usalama kama vile kamera za CCTV aina tofauti tofauti, generator, battery, inverters na fire extinguishers kati ya zingine kwa bei nafuu. Kemuma Engineering Systems pia wanakuwekea ua la umeme kudumisha usalama na vile access control kwenye afisi na biashara. Zaidi ya hayo, wanaweka milango ya remote na huduma zingine nyingi za usalama. Kampuni ya Kemuma Engineering System imekuwa ikitoa huduma kwa wateja kwa zaidi ya miaka 10 nchini na mataifa ya mbali ya Afrika Mashariki na imepokea tuzo kwa huduma bora. Tembelea maduka yetu ya Kemuma Engineering System jijini Nairobi, eneo la Kamae Road kutoka Luthuri Avenue kwenye jumba la Nyandarua House, orofa la 2, room number 204. Pia unaweza kuwatembelea katika tawi la Kema Gaberone Road karibu na mkahawa wa Sagret katika jumba la Pwani Guest House ground floor. Eneo la Kasarani wanapatikana Max Plaza ground floor mkabala na kituo cha polisi cha Kasarani karibu na benki la Family. Kwa maelezo zaidi wasiliana na Kemuma Engineering System kupitia 0721250846 ama 0712828896. Kemuma Engineering Systems, security at its best.
My good name is Monica Muturi, currently working at Mwangaza TV. I'm a proud student who studied Jewel Professional College, and I thank God. I can tell somebody who is watching me that Jewel Professional College, it's a very good school or college whereby it do accommodate every student. They have different courses like plumbing, there is media studies and journalism, we have tailoring, we have engineering, we have different courses. And having studied at Jewel Professional College and being given an attachment or a time, that forum to come and learn more, right now I can tell you freely that I'm a very good reporter. I can report incidents. They also shown me how to make posters, also working in graphics, being a co-host, also a host. So I'm very proud. This is Monica, a proud student who studied at Jewel Professional College, got an attachment and internship at Mwangaza TV, and working at Mwangaza TV currently.
Unatafuta vyombo vya muziki? Nam, usitafute tena. Smart Search Limited ni suluhu lako. Tuna vyombo vya muziki aina zote: power mixers, speaker cables, microphone cables, amplifiers, drum sets, condenser microphones, speakers, keyboards, microphones aina zote, guitars na accessories zingine nyingi. Kwa habari zaidi tupigie simu kupitia 0720046100 au 0739046100. Smart Search Limited, your trusted sound partner.
Usipitwe na vipindi uvipendavyo katika runinga ya Mwangaza. Unaweza kutufuata na kuzungumza nasi kupitia mitandao ya kijamii kama vile Facebook, like and share ukurasa wetu wa runinga ya Mwangaza. Tufuate pia kupitia Twitter @MwangazaTV, Instagram Mwangaza TV Kenya, YouTube kupitia Mwangaza TV Kenya. Mwangaza TV, tumaini lako.
Hi guys, naitwa Nimrod Kimathi, nilikuwa student Jewel Professional College, nimesomea electrical engineering, telecommunication option, then nikasoma media production, nikakuja nikapata attachment hapa Mwangaza through Jewel kututafutia. Tulikuwa mimi na my friends tukapata hapa through God's grace, na right now niko na job hapa, nafanya job hapa kama director, technical director, and Jewel Professional College is the place to be. Kaa kuna msee yako pale home, umemaliza form 4 ama unapanga kumaliza form 4 na unashindwa utaenda wapi, nitakwambia kuja Jewel. Juu Jewel hapa ni wenye tunasikia ni professional, watu ma lecturers wote ni professional, everything hapa inafanywa professionally. Ukimaliza course yako unatafutiwa attachment, haijalishi ni course gani umefanya. Kuna mabeshti wangu hata wamefanya hospitality, wameenda ma 5-star hotel. Welcome, usijali, everything is good here. Kila kitu iko poa, environment friendly, kila kitu iko poa, godly, na tunashukuru Mungu kwa yote. Jewel College imenijenga, karibu Jewel.
Kitabu cha Mathayo Mtakatifu 11 mstari wa 28. Njooni kwangu ninyi nyote msumbukao na wenye kulemewa na mizigo, nami nitawapumzisha.
Unatazama Mwangaza TV, tumaini lako.
Yes, welcome back. Karibu tena. Tukimaliza our first interview tulikuwa tumeueleza, tukirudi tutakuwa naye mgeni mwingine na ambaye atatueleza mengi yale ambayo labda bado haujauliza ama bado umeuliza lakini bado hatujakujibu.
Kweli kabisa. Na hapa ni Debeni 2022, and remember you can always text us through 22914 is our SMS number, and you can also get us on our Facebook page Mwangaza TV and our YouTube channel at Mwangaza TV Kenya. And already our guest is in the room, and he is called, his name is Anzugira Perez. He's a youth analyst, lakini atatueleza zaidi kumhusu, na tutakuwa tukizungumza naye mambo mengi kuhusu vijana na politics. Atakuwa akitueleza mambo mengi tu inayohusiana na vijana na politics. Karibu sana mgeni wetu.
Shukran.
You can use your camera and just this is your camera. You can just explain to us, you give us your name and tell us what you do. And more about yourself, in short.
My name is Anzugira Perez Madome,
Yes.
a youth policy analyst, also a politician in the just concluded general elections.
Right.
Though not concluded, but just concluded.
Yes.
General elections. So I'm passionate about young people. I'm passionate about governance in our country. And so I'm glad to be here with you guys.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for making your time.
Pleasure.
And also coming to have this discussion with us. And we just want to talk to the youths. We just want to deal with more matters on the youth and politics. Right now, the country is at a place that we are really expectant.
Yes.
And tunangoja sana hizi matokeo za urais na matokeo ambayo bado yanaendelea kuachiliwa ya the MPs and the governors. Tuko really, you understand, we are anxious. And I want us to talk to the youths today. And first and foremost, before we get even to the tallying, because we understand that tallying is going on countrywide, but at the Bomas of Kenya we have the presidential, the verification of the presidential results.
Yes.
That is what is happening at the Bomas of Kenya. But countrywide we have the tallying of the results, or rather the votes. And I want you to talk to us a little bit about the youths. Tunaelewa sana ya kwamba vijana kwa uchaguzi huu hawakuweza kujitokeza kwa sana. Hawakuweza kuenda cast their votes. What do you think is the main reason as why the youths really decided to stay back?
I think this is more about political fatigue.
Right.
And more of emotional fatigue. You know, young people have invested a lot in politicians. They have been expectant of them, such that whenever politicians come, they give them promises, and they are so hopeful that things will happen. If you look back from 2013 to 2017, and if you include 2022, the campaigns have always been generalized around youth, that you're going to create opportunities for the youth, you're going to create industries for the youth, you're going to ensure that we employ youths in government. But that has not come to fruition, because youth are seeing themselves as a bridge to mainly politicians, who, when they get there, the agenda is different. So even in this cycle, this 2022 election, the agendas are also been around youth, that are going to pump millions into young people. You're going to create a social welfare fund for young people. So you see, but these things don't come into fruition. It's always a disappointment. So 3 months after elections, or 6 months, 1 year, the debate changes. It becomes another ping pong of politics. So the young people in this election, they didn't turn up as much, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them, because they have been shortchanged more times by these politicians. Yes.
And what do you think will be the effect after they've not voted? And then we have, you see, like in the 2022 general elections, we had the contesting presidential candidates were in different age groups. We had those that are talking to the youths, and of course we have we had a split at the center. We had the 50 and below, and we had the 50 and above, according to ile chama vile vyama ambavyo vilikuwa vina contest. And what do you think will be the now as a young leader also, what do you think will be the repercussions of the youths not voting in case any government takes over? Any side of the contesting takes over?
Sad to say, but I think young people, majority of them, no longer care what happens.
Right.
I think we're in a position whereby everybody is on his own. So long as I can be able to afford bread on the table, and remember, young people now, especially young people from the age of 23 to 35, they have young families.
Yeah.
So people no longer care about, so if I vote for someone, he'll provide something. People just want to know, at the end of the day, what am I taking to my family? At the end of the day, will I be able to feed myself? So I think more or less it's a loss on both sides, because one, it shows that the government has failed young people.
Yeah.
Secondly, it shows that where we are as a country, young people are tired. Yes.
And you see, what is that very thing that should be done? Eh? Because in case either of the candidates takes over, there is of course something that has to be done. Now, speaking from a leader perspective, what needs to be done to the country so that these youths can be mobilized in case the next time there are elections, they need to, so that they can at least come out and vote and at least exercise in these activities. Right.
I'll encourage political parties first to involve young people in matters governance and politics, because in the concluding elections, as much as there has been a huge number of young people who have vied for positions, political parties did not show confidence in young people that they can give them a platform in their parties to go and provide leadership and even win seats. One, because young people are not financially capable to mount campaigns, which is not a problem, because I think political parties are able to finance them. Secondly, the government that will come in, whichever, Kenya Kwanza, Azimio, Wajakoya, or etc., they need to involve young people in matters governance. So we need to have structures which involve the youth from the grassroots level to the national level. There's this notion that you need to be, for a young person to be able to be involved in government, they must be appointed maybe to be a minister, an ambassador. No, involve young people in the from the lower cadres of leadership, community leaders, mobilizers, going up, organizations. Let them learn how is it to lead people from the local level coming up to the national level. Unless we do that, we'll still keep grumbling about the issue of young people. Yes.
And as you talk about youths being involved into leadership,
yes.
How far should these youths be involved in leadership? Because we also know that in Kenya, our youths are not yet, I can say they are not yet very settled. No wale unapata wana resign anytime. They are not yet settled on decision making. As it is, as at now, I know that it will be more better to choose the 50 and above to lead the country and in different departments, because they are more knowledgeable and they are also more firm in decision making. To what extent should these youths be involved into leadership and governance for the sake of the stability of the decision making?
I think this boils down to trust and confidence. Our seniors in leadership should accommodate us. You know, from the period of 18 to around 30, we are allowed to make mistakes because we're young people. We are allowed. I think we have that allowance. We can make mistakes because we are still learning the ropes. So I think this boils down to our seniors allowing us to grow with them, even as they show us the ropes in leadership. Let them allow us to at least grow. Because leadership is not easy in itself. It's not easy. Being a president, being a governor, senator, all the way to an MCA, it's not an easy task because you are leading people. So I think they should have that confidence to allow young people to grow. Allow them to even make mistakes, because it's through mistakes that you're able to learn. So young people should not go in leadership expecting to be 100% in matters governance, in matters legislating. No, we learn the ropes slowly by slowly. So I think it should go on to them that they should trust us. They should have confidence in us that even if we make mistakes, we are willing to learn. And to young people who maybe, as we have alluded, that sometimes they resign faster, they resign quickly, or don't work well under pressure. There's nothing easy. we need to learn to understand that pressure is everywhere. Even in your workstation here, there's a lot of pressure. But you're young people, but you're trying your best. So even in political space, there's pressure. But let us learn to accommodate it. Let us learn to have a tough skin in these matters. Yes.
But at times, the youths we want to be trusted.
Yes.
But at times they give these people the more reasons as to why they should not be trusted.
Yeah.
And also I understand that in growth everyone needs a mentor.
Yeah.
We need to have someone who is mentoring us.
Yeah.
And at times you see some of our mentors go astray.
Yeah.
Of which is okay because human is to error, but
Yes.
we really need, the youth really need mentorship.
Yes.
How about the mentorship aspect of it? Because for that leadership for the youth to be trusted with leadership, their mentorship also should be right.
Yes.
What do you think about the mentorship aspect?
I think we have not done well in that aspect, because even if I look, because if we are speaking about the political part of it, if you look at the political parties that we have, we don't have as much youth involvement in matters leadership. You will have only youth in matters digital, running communication, and etc. But when it comes to important decisions being made at the table, you find very few are being involved. I only know of one Mr. Sam Gakuru of ANC as the Secretary General of a bigger party in Kenya so far. I don't know of any other SG who is below 35 years. So we have a long way to go. Young people cannot be put in a corner of being bloggers and tweeting only. Leadership, they should be trusted to run events, political events. They should be trusted to run programs, bring about policies so that they can grow. So on that regard of mentorship, our seniors again, because these political parties are led by seniors, people above 50. Because if you look at if it's ANC, it's Musalia Mudavadi above 50. If it's UDA, William Ruto above 50. ODM, Raila Odinga above 50. So these parties, they are being led by seniors. If you look at age bracket, but young people, you can't say really that we have young people being involved really in the main structures of these parties. Yes.
Wow. And talking about mentorship and trust, unakuja unapata for example kuna labda huyu tuseme MP fulani amechaguliwa place fulani, let me use an example like Kasarani. Then amekuja akaita vijana akamwambia mimi the moment nitaingia kwa hiyo kiti mkipata kazi mtaani pesa zenu mtakuwa mnazipata, vijana ambao hawana kazi nitasaidia wao kupata kazi. Then all of a sudden these youths cause wamepata like wamemwamini huyu kiongozi alituambia huyu kiongozi ndio huyu amefanya uchaguzi wake, ameingia akapata hicho kiti alafu ikafika mahali akasahau ile promise yenye alifanya kwa our youth. Unapata youth they lose their trust to the leaders. Unapata youth anasema mimi hata sitaenda kuchaguana, last time nilichaguana lakini huyo mbunge ambaye nilimchagua hakufanya anything. What do you think the senior leaders ama hawa viongozi ambao tunawachagua ni nini hicho wanaweza fanya ili ku gain back the trust of the youths?
First of all, let me debunk this notion that political leaders, MPs, MCAs have the capacity to employ young people in government, etc. It's a fallacy. So young people, when we leaders come to you, you should first have a memorandum. What do you want to happen in your society, in your area? What are you good at? What are you able to put on the table? The notion that a mheshimiwa can just come in your local area and start shouting that he'll create employment, you need to ask yourself, how will he create employment? First of all, this country has almost 2 or 3 million unemployed young people. So the question should start there. How is that elected leader going to create employment for you? Because I think it's a challenge. It's a challenge because one, we need to have more industries in this country, at least, so that we can produce. We have a shortage in our agricultural sector because young people are not in agriculture. Young people are more into white collar, blue collar jobs. So we need to have leaders who can bring on the table practical and amicable solutions. So let's say we are going to ensure that we are going to pump resources, maybe in the agricultural sector. This agricultural sector is going to create employment in this way and this way. Secondly, we are going to invest in the tech industry. If we invest in the tech industry, young people who are good in tech issues are able to get employment in this area or this area. If an MP just rambles, or an MCA, their duties is to legislate, oversight, and to represent you. Their duty is not to give you jobs. Young people should desist from that notion that electing people, electing personalities, or electing leaders is a guarantee of them having jobs. It will never happen. It will never happen. They should, first of all, what do you have in your hand? Hata nikidhani kwa Biblia inasemekana, Biblia husema kuna story fulani ya sijui Musa alienda pale kwa kuvukisha ama sikumbuki, I'm not conversant with the issues of the Bible. But alipouliza Mungu akamuuliza Musa, nini uko nayo kwa mkono? Sijui kama ni Musa or I don't know. So you need to have something also, because an MP can come, or a leader can just come and say I'll give you employment, but if you don't have the requisite requirements to be employed, you'll continue being unemployed. And also, young people, let us not be dependent on political leaders to provide solutions to us. This country young people can be dependent minus politicians. And this is what I always tell young people whenever I interact with them. If we have a functioning system in this country, better healthcare, we have better wages, we have better education for our children and our siblings, nobody will care who is leading them. So long as you can go to the hospital and get medicine, so long as your kid will go to school without feeling financially strained, or the quality of education is good, so long as the roads are good, so long as you are eating healthy, nobody will care who is the president or your MP, so long as things are running smoothly. But because we are become slaves of politics in this country, we will continue grumbling in that manner, in that order. Yes.
But you see, most of the people that go to the parliament, they don't go and represent us the way we need to be represented. How is this one supposed to be handled? Because most of the time we also get disappointed when they go to parliament and they don't represent us the way we're supposed to be, and therefore result to protest voting. How is all this supposed to be held?
Sorry. Young people, youth, they need to be active in matters governance, not politics, because politics is different with governance. Young people should be passionate about governance. The moment we start auditing our leaders in matters governance, that is the only time we'll realize that we have a potential to change this country by ourselves as young people, because we are the majority in this republic. I think we cover almost above 30% of this country are young people, but those young people have refused to exercise. The majority of them have absconded their democratic right to go to the ballot and choose their leaders. So until that time, young people realize that for you to be able to hold your leaders accountable, you need first of all to be passionate about governance, write down ideas, bring about policies, because it is not only MPs and MCAs or senators who are supposed to come up with policies or laws that should govern us. We should also be able to bring about policies and laws by ourselves. Laws that are significant and laws that are practical and that are within our constitution. Laws that we can be able to bring about in the floor of the House and even present to the floor of the House, so that we are accountable not only to ourselves, but we also hold our leaders accountable. So young people, I beseech you, let us be active in matters governance. We cannot run away from it. And just to conclude on that, when young people keep saying that politics does not affect their lives, you know, I want to tell them that in one way or another, politics affects us, one way or another. So the faster or the quicker we get involved in matters governance, the better for all of us. Yes.
Okay, wow. You know, it gets to a point, ukiangalia kasai, uchaguzi ilifanyika, and a high number of youths did not turn out. A high number of youths hawaku turn out. And I think the main reason as to why a lot of youths did not turn out is because these youths hawakuwa na ile election knowledge. Hawakuwa wanajua, okay, sikatai niko na ID yangu, labda kuna mtu alimwambia, hata kama uko na ID, unafaa uende kwa hii polling station uchukue kura yako, uchukue your voters card. Ama unapata labda mtu alikuwa na hiyo voters card lakini hiyo siku ya kufika uchaguzi maybe something ikammislead akasema mimi siende kupanga line just because this youth hakuwa na ile idea ya oh so this is what is supposed to happen. Unaona? So what do you think the government or the government, what do you think the government should do to ensure that in the next coming general election maybe or God willingly the high number of turnouts watakuwa youths?
Again, let me debunk this issue. The government will never come and beg people to vote, because mostly in many democracies, a dull society is an advantage to leaders in power. So unless young people decide to wake up and vote, because how do you explain a 100-year-old man I saw in Kajiado, is it Narok, was patiently in a queue to vote, and a young man in the ages between 18 and 35 is either sleeping or refusing to go and vote because he thinks he's punishing someone for not voting. So young people need to realize that whether or not you vote or you don't vote, we are affected by politics. So it's upon us, and I am a young person also, so it's upon us, and I keep encouraging young people. Don't think that because you don't vote or because you spoil a ballot, you go to the queue, unaingia hapo ndani unaharibu, ati you are protesting against these people or these leaders. Progress, depending on which side you are. I don't want to be partisan. Depending on which side of the divide you are, because these political parties or these coalitions provided a manifesto. So young people have the duty to go through these manifestos. They have a duty to scrutinize them and decide, if I choose this leader, this is what I can hold them accountable to. But if you don't vote, you have no right to hold anyone accountable. You have no right. So until we decide that we are going to vote, because we can also decide to have a youthful president. We can say to have that if we decide to go and vote en masse. But because we refuse and think that by not voting we are punishing political leaders, it doesn't work like that. Especially in Kenya, it doesn't work like that. Yeah.
And what makes the youths be the ones to be so much involved in violence? Because when we look at a lot of happenings in the country, besides politics, youths are so much engaged into violence, and at times you see the youths should be the ones, because I know the youths are many in the country, and they can really be strong if they decide to go to one way. And what, if I may ask, what do you think is the reason as to why youths will decide to be on the side of the violence instead of being on the side of building the country?
Today in our country, a young person is a vulnerable person. A young person has no job. A young person who has no food in his stomach. A young person does not know whether tomorrow he'll get employed. A young person, yes, a young person does not know if by the time he clocks 35 and above, he'll have at least used or fulfilled his purpose as a young person in this planet. So young politicians take advantage, or leaders take advantage of that situation, and they can be able to dish out as little as 50 shillings to young people to either go and disrupt their opponents, either in a political campaign, or to go and cause violence. Now, violence does not help in any way, because at the end of the day, either the law catches up with you, or you end up dying as a young person. So my view to young people, as much as I know these times are hard, we are experiencing hard economic times. Food prices are high, fuel is high. As much as maybe you did not vote, or maybe you voted, I'll encourage you to be peaceful as much as you can. Because we are into a transition, into a new government, and I hope that the government that comes in will be able to address this issue, because failure to it, because both camps, both leading camps, have really promised young people
Yes.
a lot of things. There's a camp that has promised 6,000 every month.
Yeah.
There's a camp that has promised to pump 50 billion into young people venturing into businesses or anything. So I'll encourage the government that will come in to please, on their first 100 days, on their first agenda, bring about a draft of policy and a structure that young people can look at and say that this is going to work for me. Because if today I say I'm going to give people 6,000, if I'm given 6,000 shillings, you are not sure how I'm going to use that money.
Yeah.
If you pump 50 billion, I don't know how that money is going to get to me, because we are many. We are 2 to 3 million. So there need to be a clear structure that this is how we are going to work with young people, or this is how we are going to empower young people. And young people, remember, a politician does not care about you once he is elected. Once he's elected, he thinks about the next election. So it's important for us to remember that unless after a new president is sworn in and the government is running, because so far we are into a transition, let us start drafting, if it's petitions, if it's grievances, to our leaders, starting from the MCA level, because the Supreme Court the other day just ruled that MPs and MCAs, the responsibilities is just not to dish around the bursaries. Their responsibility is to legislate, to oversight, and to represent. Now, when they talk about representation, it's to represent us. When they talk about legislation, it's to legislate policies that affects our lives. When they talk about oversight, it's to look at the resources that is there for us, because we pay taxes, and how are our leaders using that resource. So young people, I'm talking to you, look out, petition, picket, until we are heard, because we only have a decade to exit the youth bracket. So once you are above 35, you are no longer youth, unakuwa mzee wa mtaa.
And now talking about youth and employment.
Yes.
What do you think them that are becoming elected leaders,
yes,
or them that will take the leadership positions, what do you think they should do to make sure that these youths are employed again? What should these youths do? Should they sit down and expect to wait for white-collar jobs, or what are they supposed to do? There are these other jobs, huku kazi za mkono. What is the way forward? You can begin with the leadership, then to the youth.
I think the most important thing, if maybe I'm to talk about maybe Nairobi, for instance, if we get a new government that is running, the first thing is to ensure that there are less levies and taxes on ventures that involve young people. Number two, the leadership should open up the business environment for young people. And thirdly, train young people on how to run businesses, because young people have ideas of doing businesses, young people have ideas on how to invest maybe the little that they have, but they don't have the know-how of how to manage their resources. So I think it's upon the coming leadership to ensure that if maybe a young person wants to open a kibanda at Gikomba, how much tax should that guy pay? Unaona? So you cannot be beginning a business with the minimum capital and the county government is already there on your kibanda asking a lot from you, so you end up making losses more than profits. So I think any government that comes in should be friendly to young people and give us time to at least stabilize ourselves so that we can be able to run affairs that we want.
But now youths and social media. Right now we are having, the youths are known to be the ones working on the social media platforms and also creating websites, and at times you find that these youths will take advantage of that and do what is wrong, give the wrong information. They use those platforms to actually accomplish defamation, to do defamations, and at times they find themselves on the wrong side of the law. What do you think should be the best measures to be put in place to at least, because like right now we are having youths actually spreading the wrong information about the elections and who is winning, who is losing, of which is also causing some violence of some sort. And I really want you to explain to us, what do you think should be done to curb such occurrences?
They should just stop. They should know way about it. Just stop. If you are peddling falsehood, you just stop. Because at the end of the day, if it's about our elections, we know it's Chebukati who is allowed to announce the final results. So I don't know where people are getting figures from. Because I've also seen that. I don't know where they're getting figures from the social media. But at the end of the day, it's Chebukati who is going to announce the eventual winner. Because I think all the way down from the governorship to the MCA level, local people are able to know who they have elected. But it's only the presidential election that I'm seeing there's a lot of rumors and propaganda online. So young people who are spreading falsehood should just stop. There's no any other way around it, because at the end of the day, we know who is supposed to announce the results.
That's right.
Yes.
Wow. And do you think there is a way that the government can get involved, at least isaidie? Unajua kuna vile labda serikali inaweza ingilia kati, isaidie mayouth wache kujiingiza kwa vitu zingine, kwa unapata hii lack of employment to the youth, hii labda youth wamekosa mtu wa kuelekeza, this is the way forward. Unadhani serikali inaweza aje jitolea ikuje get involved, at least isaidie hawa youth, as in iwatoe like a disruptive measure, iwatoe instead of this youth thinking of vile atenda kurusha mawe kule, anakaa chini anasema na by the way kuna place nilikuwa niende kazi. Unadhani serikali inaweza aje ingilia kati, hasa wakati huu tunaenda we are like transitioning, as you said, we are transitioning to a new government. Unadhani ni measures gani hii serikali mpya itachukua yenye maybe the last government haikuteki ili kusaidia mayouth?
I think the most important thing is to ensure that we have programs that are involving the youth more frequently. If we talk about maybe the previous government had Kazi Mtaani, I think any government that comes in should ensure that young people are active, either in matters sports, matters community leadership. Ensure that things are running at the ground level, because you know a lot of these things happen at the local level. Majority of things don't happen here kwa wazito hapa juu. Kule ghetto, kule mtaani ndio kuna noma. So ensure that people are actively involved and pump resources to ensure that activities, kuna NGOs mingi mtaani ambazo zingeweza kufanya kazi na vijana. Ensure that they have a friendly environment to do that. And also encourage young people. Talk to them. You know, the problem that we're having is government does not engage young people as frequent as it should, because young people need to be talked to every now and then. Tuko hapa tunafanya hii. So I think any government that is coming in should ensure that young people are actively involved, because tuko na damu moto, and we always want to be involved in something or another. So if it's in investment in sports, because we have young people who are passionate about rugby mtaani, passionate about football, passionate about basketball, pump resources in these things, because we have a lot of talent down there. If young people can see one of them anainuka kwa kupitia vitu kama hizo, they can get a lot busy in that thing. Also, we have this program of NYS, which I will encourage any government that is coming in to also ensure that it's expanded to involve young people a lot more, because once a young man is from high school, naonelea ni vyema wakimaliza high school wanaingia kwa national training service, so that by the time you are either called to a university or by the time you are 22 or something there, you are able to have a skill, or you are mentally ready to be out here. So I'll encourage the government that will come in to look into NYS and involve young people in these activities.
Wow. What do you think about rehabilitation centers? Because I think many youths are now into drugs, probably because there is unemployment. Others are into depression, and they think the best result is getting into drugs. Most of them are indulging into drugs as days go by, and a lot are wasting. A lot of them are wasting into drugs. What do you think about setting up rehabilitation centers to at least help in curbing this drug addiction and the drug menace?
So I'll encourage county governments to ensure that in this tenure of their leadership, these 5 years, from now to 2027, to ensure that they have these centers. And if they are there, ensure that they're well equipped. And also for MCAs and MPs to lobby to at least have psychologists in the health centers, so that they can be able to talk to people who are either depressed, who are going through a lot, because people are going through a lot because life has become so expensive to everybody. People are even thinking about committing suicide, and we've seen young people committing suicide. Young people who have gone to school. So we are having parents who are depressed because they have school children, but children are not getting jobs. We have parents who are stressed because every day they are coming back home, mtoto bado uko nyumbani, kazi hazipatikani. So I'll encourage it matters health, let these leaders, MCAs especially, ensure that they lobby for us to have health centers that are equipped with psychologists or psychiatrists that can be able to speak to people whenever they feel depressed, because you cannot always, when you are depressed, unaambiwa uende Kenyatta ama uende wapi. Let us have these resources karibu na watu, ndio mtu akifeel ni kama ako chini, you can have someone to talk to. And also I encourage young people, those of us who can speak to one another, let us encourage each other that this is just a phase, hopefully, that something is going to happen for us somewhere or another. Na tuweke bidii, tusikae tu kwa chini ya mnazi tukingoja manna from heaven. Let us work hard. If you have an idea, invest in it. If you have something that you are passionate about, get involved in it. If you're passionate about sports, go into sports. If you're passionate about writing, write a lot. You never know where your breakthrough will come from.
Wow, shukran sana. Ningeomba nikaweza kuwatambua wawili watatu na ambao wametuma ujumbe wao. Tunaye Boniface Gumba, thank you very much, God bless you. Tunaye G Mwangi na kuona. Tunaye Purity Mugo ambaye anasema anatuona, asante sana. Tunaye Margaret Wamboi Kimani. Tunaye Dominice Wanjala anasema okay. Tunaye mwingine hapa jina lake ni KK Karemi anasema anatuona, shukran sana. Tunaye Terry Karaoke na kisha nisomea wawili. Tunaye Aleki anasema nawaona na wapata vyema. Na Suzy Mresh anasema anatuona mahali popote alipo. Asante sana, na usisahau kama iwapo una swali lolote ama chochote ambacho ungependa kutueleza ama chochote ambacho umeona na ungetaka tujue, usisahau nambari yetu ya rafa ni 22914, upande wetu wa Facebook Mwangaza TV na upande wetu wa YouTube ambao ni Mwangaza TV Kenya.
Kweli kabisa. And remember that tallying is still going on across the country. We have tallying of votes still going on across the country, and at the Bomas of Kenya we have the verification of the presidential results. And as I continue, Margaret will be checking on us with us, or rather atakuwa natuangalilia kwa portal ya Iebc how far we are at the surrendering of the form 34As, even as we come to a close of this discussion, and even as the country continues to tally and even to announce results, it's an urge that we continue maintaining peace, tuweke amani, kwa sababu a country without peace will be difficult to even have development and even to move forward. So we need to move forward right after these elections. It's just a season of few days that needs to be really observed keenly, so that usikuwe wewe ndo utaleta vurugu, usikuwe wewe ndo utakuwa wa kueneza maneno za chuki, kueneza maneno za uongo kwenye social media platforms. Let us make sure you're giving the right information to people around you, and if you don't know about a thing, please keep quiet. Please don't share false rumors. Usipeane mambo zenye hazina msingi, hazina basics. Ukiulizwa hiyo information ulitoa wapi, hauwezi sema ulipata place fulani. That is why we have the media, we have all TV stations making sure they give you the right information and making sure they take you to places where this tallying is going on, and even to the Bomas of Kenya, giving you updates on what the Iebc chairman Wafula Chebukati is saying about the country and about the tallying and about the verification of the presidential results. That is why these media houses have interrupted their normal programming to make sure they give you this information in real time. So usiende kwa right now the social media is full of lies and full of fake news. Make sure usidanganywe. Don't consume everything you find on social media, so that we can have harmony and we can have we can also give Iebc an ample time as they do what they're supposed to do, and also give the people around us. And ukienda job, ongea tu mambo za peace, na wachane tu na mambo za politics until Chebukati gives us the final results, because Iebc is the one to give the final results of the presidential positions. So let us make sure usiende ukisema fulani alishinda, fulani ndo wako juu, fulani ndo watashinda. Let us keep it to ourselves until the Iebc national presiding officer gives us the details himself.
Yes, na nikiingia katika upande wangu wa the portal, the Iebc public portal, na ambayo tuliwaambia pia wewe kama Mkenya huko nje, unaweza enda kwenye Google search yako, ukaandika hapo Iebc public portal, na utaweza kuona yale ambayo yanaendelea. Lakini tuwakumbushe yale ambayo unaona kwenye hiyo portal, those are the final results. Hizo si final results. Tuliwaambia vizuri sana final results zitatoka kwake mwenyekiti ama msimamizi wa Iebc mwenyewe Wafula Chebukati.
Those are just provisional results.
These are just provisional results. Na nikiingia upande wangu wa form 34A, tunakumbuka hapo siku ya jana percentage asilimia yetu ilikuwa 99.90. Na kwa sasa ukiingia kwenye hiyo portal utapata ni 99.94. Hii ni kusemaje? Ni kusema hivi, kuna zile counties na ambazo bado hazikuwa zimewasilisha forms zao. Na ukienda kwenye hiyo portal utapata kuna counties mingi ambazo zimekuwa hapo chini, na zimebaki tu chache na ambazo hazijawasilisha asilimia 100 ya hizo portals. Na nitapitia tu 2-3. Tunayo county ya Garissa kama vile na ambavyo unaona hapa. Tunayo county ya Garissa na ambayo fomu na ambazo zinafaa kuwasilishwa ni fomu 559 559, unaona. Nayo zile fomu na ambazo zimewasilishwa ni 556. Ukiona hivyo kumaanisha ni stesheni tu 3 na ambazo hazijapatiana. Nitapitia mbio kwa sababu naelezo masaha yapo upande wetu. Nikiweza kuangalia hapa tunayo kaunti ya Mandera. Kaunti ya Mandera na ambayo stesheni na ambazo zimeweza kuwasilisha fomu zao ni stesheni 353. Na stesheni ambazo zinafaa kuwa zimewasilisha ni stesheni 554. Stesheni moja tu ndo ambayo haijawasilisha. Na kaunti ya Nandi ni kaunti nyingine na ambayo bado haijamaliza kuwasilisha asilimia 100 ya fomu zake. Tunayo kaunti ya Narok na ambayo bado pia haijawasilisha, imebaki stesheni 2 ikaweza kuwasilisha fomu zote za form 34A. Usisahau ni form 34A. Nikiteremka tena naona kuna hiyo kaunti ya Wajir. Kaunti ya Wajir fomu na ambazo zinafaa kuwasilishwa stesheni ni stesheni 610. Na zile ambazo zimewasilisha ni stesheni 595. Hiyo ni asilimia 97.54. Hizo ni counties. Unaona, ukilinganisha na siku ya jana counties zilikuwa mingi, lakini leo counties zimepungua. Na msisahau nimewaeleza vipi asilimia ya form 34A ambazo zimewasilishwa ni 99.94, kumaanisha bado tunaendelea vizuri na Iebc inafanya kazi yake vilivyo.
Right. Asante sana my co-anchor. Na sasa as we are coming to a close of this discussion, back to our guest Perez.
Yes.
I would like you to talk to the youths generally. during this election time, this electioneering period, about what they need to do, what they should avoid, so that we can have a peaceful country. Just as a youth analyst and also as a youth leader, you can talk to us as leaders. What do we need to do? What do we refrain from doing so that we can have a peaceful election, and also tujitume, to see. Just talk to us.
I encourage young people to be patient with the Iebc. I encourage them to be to remain still and peaceful. This country is ours as young people. We are the leaders of today, not tomorrow. So whatever you do today determines whether we see tomorrow or we succeed tomorrow. Also to encourage them that let us be vigilant, let us be active in matters leadership. Uongozi, hakuna mtu ambaye alizaliwa kiongozi. Sisi wote ni viongozi kwa namna moja au nyingine. Kwa hivyo hata tunapo jitayarisha kuwa na serikali mpya, tuwe waangalifu kwa wale viongozi ambao wamesema watatufanyia kazi, na wafanye kazi, na hakikisha wamefanya kazi. Mtahakikisha aje kuhakikisha kwamba mnaandika sera zenu ambazo mngetaka zipitishwe bungeni, kuwakashifu wanapokosea na kuwapa moyo pia wanapofanya kazi vyema. Kwa hivyo tusiwe tu watu wa kulia kila wakati kwamba serikali tumechagua itufanyie kazi. Wewe mwenyewe unahakikishaje kwamba kiongozi ambaye wewe ulichagua ama haukuchagua anafanya kazi ambayo anastahili kufanya? Kwa hivyo tusiwe watu wa kugombana au kuleta vurugu. Manake umri tunao, nguvu bado tunao. Kwa hivyo hata kama kiongozi wako hakushinda uchaguzi huu, ama wewe kama kijana ulisimama kiti na hukupata, kuna kesho. Kuna kesho. Naam.
Tunashukuru sana kwa muda wako na kwa kukubali kuwa na sisi kwa majadiliano haya. I hope we've learned something as the youth. I hope tumepata the most important points in this one, and I really hope tutaendelea na maintain amani, tusikuwe watu wa kuleta vurugu kama vile tumesema hapo awali. Na kwa sasa tutakuwa tunawapisha wenzetu Kelvin Kariba na pamoja na Celestine Waka, tutakuwa tunawapisha wanapokuja kuendeleza majadiliano haya. Kwa hivyo usiende mbali, it's just for us that our time has come to an end, but we will also we will be having Kelvin Kariba and Celestine Waka who will come and continue with this discussion. And for me, I really thank you so much. Thank you so much, Perez, for coming.
Thank you so much.
We are so grateful. And also thank you so much for watching, and even for our online viewers, for them that have participated in this discussion, and for them that have sent in your messages. Thank you for the interactive session that we've had. Thank you so much. I'll see you again tomorrow. From me, Daisy Paul, I wish you a good night.
Na kwangu upande wangu ni kushukuru watazamaji wote. Hata kuna wale tunaitaga silent listeners, yule ambaye ametutazama kwa televisheni na pia social media na hajasema lolote, unaona. Thank you to the silent listeners kwa kuungana na sisi. Tuliingia hapa saa 7 na dakika, sikumbuki vizuri, lakini tuliingia saa 7 na dakika kadhaa, wacha niseme hivyo. Lakini masaa tunaambiwa kilicho mwanzo kina mwisho, na masaa yetu yameisha hapa. Kama vile mwenzangu amesema, tutawapisha wenzetu ambaye ni Kelvin Kariba na Celestine Waka wakaweza kuendeleza mjadala huu wa Debeni mwaka wa 2022. Langu jina ni Margaret Kamau. Tunaonana hapo siku ya kesho.
Kweli.
Na watakia usiku mwanana. Najua ni mapema, lakini ni vizuri sababu sirudi hapa. Tunawatakia usiku mwanana, tuonane siku ya kesho. Shukrani.
Unatazama Mwangaza TV, tumaini lako.
Hi guys, kwa majina ni Claudia Robinson, nimeokoka, napenda Yesu. Nimesomea katika Jewel Professional College, wanahabari, journalism and mass media communication. Na nikapewa attachment hapa Mwangaza TV, na baada ya attachment nimepata kazi kwa KO TV. Nashukuru. Jewel ni place poa, ni shule poa, unafunza vizuri na maadili yao ni ya Kikristo. Ukikuja hapa utafunza vizuri na una uhakika wa kutafutiwa attachment. Baada ya attachment nimepata skills nyingi. I edit news, I also do posters, I edit posters, I do camera work, na bado am a show presenter katika show ya watoto inaitwa Open Box Kids Show. Katika Jewel utafunzwa vyema. Karibuni Jewel. Jewel imenijenga, karibu Jewel.
Kampuni ya Kemuma Engineering System ni kampuni tajika ya uuzaji wa bidhaa zote za umeme. Kemuma Engineering System pia wanakuuzia bidhaa na vyombo mbalimbali vya usalama kama vile kamera za CCTV aina tofauti tofauti, generator, battery, inverters na fire extinguishers kati ya zingine kwa bei nafuu. Kemuma Engineering Systems pia wanakuwekea ua la umeme kudumisha usalama na vile access